Yo, what's up, KallaTheYapper, and I'm back with another reaction. Today I'm going to react to this video made by Saint Tone Toss. Yet again, another video clip from his video, or from his stream, where he reacts to the Nigerian Perspectives video, or react to the Nigerian Perspectives video, talking about the candy bug situation and the take she gave. I'm going to react to this video so I can purely show you just how unknowledgeable Saint Tone Toss is when it comes down to Genshin Impact, proving how much of a LARPer he is, and how much of a malicious liar he is as well. As he claims that Brand Online brigaded and sent his community after Candybug with no proof, by the way, despite the fact we've seen this behavior from Saint Tone Toss and we have it in HD. Not even HD, it's fucking 2000D, nigga. All type of shit. From literally Skull CJ's video from 5 months ago. So we're gonna look at that clip a little later. Let's start the video, shall we?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another video from the Nigerian perspective, but perhaps most importantly,
I'm gonna say this right now. This nigga is too pussy to actually react to a person who critiqued her video, Candy's video, though, which is right here, called Whacked something. She critiqued that video from top to bottom and went in depth to why it is bad for a lot of these takes that she gave. Shoot, I'll pull up. I may have to pull up one of their videos too, one of her videos, or another person who did this reaction to this video too, to disprove these takes. So let's go ahead and get started.
Another video regarding the candy bug situation, because there's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of talks. I actually still have a video that I need to release, kind of putting a hole in the Brand Online, like just ending that issue. But we've already gotten a full sort of like wraparound of the situation. And that's going to be from the Nigerian perspective right here. And even though I already have two...
I didn't react to that DM video yet. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to react to it, actually. And just point out how dishonest that nigga is moving. I know people want me to check out the one belonging to VXC Fiction. I don't know if I'll watch his, because his reaction is about 3 hours long.
Two videos covering this topic. I haven't really gotten one that takes a look at the entire community as a whole. We've been more so focusing on Brand Online's impact in ruining Candybug's career.
Again, there's no proof to back that. Yeah, he's claiming that is to be the case, aka blatant slander and lies, malicious lies, vile lies, if you will.
Now we gotta see who else is involved and who else deserves some harsh criticism for their actions.
I would love to know who he's going to go for. Who he's gunning for. I would love to know that. Oh, what the? Wait a minute. Oh, wow. We're going to use a disc. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait till we get to this point. The whole race topic and the war topic, those points, I'm going to cut the fuck down when we get there. Oh, that's going to be my most favorite part of this whole video. I'm not going to lie to you. And I hate these niggas for getting me involved in race-related topics. I get riled up easy. Let's continue.
A lot of people will just hand wave everything in that video as Genshin hate, Genshin bullshit. It's just fake Genshin critique that isn't.
Because it was bullshit to the nth degree. If you actually watch somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about critique the video, you will see it as such. But you're too ignorant, too retarded, too stupid, to up your own ass to see that. And you're a LARPer, so.
Real, even though it has 18K plus likes. And clearly, a lot of actual people in the community like the video.
And a lot of people who are actually a part of the community as well dislike the video. It having 18K likes does not mean that the person who made the video and their opinions was correct. That's a stupid line of logic. Because if you apply that to real life, guess what? If people en masse were to vote on the idea of like, oh, cannibalism should be legalized, and people en masse vote for it and it becomes legalized, guess what? Do you think the people who voted on it are morally correct about cannibalism and why it should be allowed in modern day civil society? The answer is no. What about what's going on right now when it comes down to, you know, the one's piracy when it comes and private data being, you know, looked on by the government, whether it be in the UK or in America, when they pass a bill saying that, oh, we're going to start monitoring people's movement on the internet. because, oh, we're trying to protect the kids, when we know it damn well it's not to protect kids. It's literally for their own financial interest, so that they can have a leash on people, so they can stop and stifle people's opinions about XYZ thing, so that they can have control over people. Do you think that's objectively a good idea? Because people in mass voted for that, despite the fact how morally wrong that is. Oh, what's another one? Shit, I'm trying to think of another instance. Oh, let's use an extreme. Right? When segregation was a thing, right? Do you think the white racist Americans at the time were correct morally by voting to separate black people and white people based off skin color, and tell black people to go to the back of the bus instead of being able to sit on whatever side of the bus that they wanted because that they were black? Do you think because the majority of Americans at the time voted for that and were okay with that means that it's morally okay, that it's acceptable because they in mass voted for that? Does that make sense to you? The answer is no, it doesn't. So this whole idea of like, oh, because the masses voted for it, therefore they're morally correct off rip is just not true. No, that's not how that works. You have to examine what they are voting for to know whether or not it's morally acceptable or not. And then we got to get into the question of what's morally acceptable based on, because people have different sets of morals. Some people's morals flip flop this and the third. So you even have to question the morality of the people who are voting based on whether or not if their morals are even concrete.
But that's obviously going to have some issues. There are going to be some problems with that take when you have creators like Brand Online, 400K subscribers, by the way, saying shit like this about her video.
Let's play that. Watch.
And that was not good. It's just Genshin haters now. But at the same time, their audience is just Genshin haters now.
He's only playing this clip, but he doesn't play her actual video to know what the fuck she said. So again, he's farming hate on Brand Online because he has personal beef with Brand Online, because Brand Online called out his gay butt buddy not too long ago. Yes, I'm going to say it in such a fashion because I don't have no respect for Glaive Keo. Glaive Keo spread misinformation in relation to Genshin Impact not too long ago about character buffs. Brand Online called him out on it, despite the fact Brand Online has given Glaive Keo so much benefit of the doubt multiple times when he reacts to his videos, and has reacted to his videos in good faith. So when Brand Online saw that, he rightfully called it out. And guess what happened? Glaive KO sent his butt buddy Saint Tontas to come defend him. And Glaive KO painted himself as a victim in the scenario when he wasn't. Saint Tontas comes into the conversation and in bad faith, just like he has done already within this situation, nitpicks and mischaracterizes Brand Online's takes related to X thing to paint him as a bad person. This is not the first time. This is the second time this has happened, and there will be another time in the future. But depending on how long it's going to be, it could be literally a week from now, a year from now, 3 years from now. Who knows? But we have to wait and see.
Now,
if you like that video, if you think that video is good content, you're just a Genshin hater.
The video is not good content when it can easily be debunked by niggas with lesser sub counts than her. What are you gonna say about the content creators and the content creators whose channels are only 1,000 subs with even less watch hours, with only 1K views on reacting to her video? What are you gonna say about those channels? Are they just punching up because they disagreed? Well, that sounds like a good thing to punch up, no? Since punching down is bad, because that's how he's framing Brand Online right now.
Who cares if you thought there were valid points in it? You're just a Genshin hater.
There were no valid points in it.
Have you ever seen somebody just hand wave an entire group of people, all the arguments, and just boil it all down to Genshin hate so you can...
I mean, you've done that multiple times. Do we need to go back through your personal history and how you moved in this gacha space? Literally, when you were out here acting outlandish, Pharaohs literally gave a neutral take on your whole situation. And guess what you did? You painted him as an enemy towards you. And you sent your community to go and harass Pharaohs. And you had a bunch of racists in your fucking Discord moving crazy as they spoke about Pharaohs, a black gacha YouTuber. Did we forget that? Conveniently?
So you can get mobbed on. Because how do you think the community is going to react to one of the biggest CCs describing her at channel as just Genshin hate? And then listen to this.
That's it. So this person is either going to become a Genshin grifter.
So their audience is filled with Genshin haters, and they're a Genshin grifter. What?
Yes, clearly they are. Especially now, considering the fact that your community has more than likely gone to subscribe to her channel to boost up her sub count, just like, kind of like how Tectone did yours, right? And this ultra white knight shilling that this nigga Saint Tones is doing for Candybug, despite the fact nothing in relation to what any of these content creators have done even encourages this fucking white knight shilling that we see from both the Nigerian perspective and Saint Tontas to come defend her at all, because none of these content creators did anything malicious. But since he's making up and lying about Brand Online, claiming that he was malicious in his reaction to her follow-up video and just to both videos in general, guess what? Now he want to say and act like a white knight, like, oh, look how morally right I am.
What do you think is going to happen in the broader Genshin community when you're putting labels like that on a person? Do you think it's going to get better? Do you think that they're going to have a fruitful career here, or do you think it's going to get more toxic?
Yeah, they're going to have a fruitful career, because guess what's going to happen? The Genshin hate niggas are going to literally flock to her channel and subscribe to her channel based on that alone. We don't seem to happen too many times. The Gotcha DDG2, prime example. Glaive Keo, prime example. Saint Tontas, prime example. Nigerian Perspective, prime example. Shy Guy High, prime example. Do I need to list more content creators for you?
So you have to say shit like this to them. You let me know.
Here's the thing, the original video is 55 minutes long, which means reacting to it in its entirety would take probably 2 to 3 hours. And while that could be entertaining in its own rights, that is a little too much. Luckily for us though, she uploaded a follow-up video, an apology video, but more importantly to the context of what we're making. It is a video
It's not even an apology, it's a double down video
where she already isolates the points from the original video that sparked the most controversy.
And I've watched the entire video, and she explains her points very well. It's still getting mass downvoted because of Brand Online's community. And this is how I can confidently say that Brand Online's community would brigade another creator. I am just going to say that with full 100% confidence. And the reason why I'm saying that with full 100% confidence is because this is what you will find in the front page of Brand's comment section. Him going ahead and his...
So we're going to assume that this person belongs to Brand Online's community, despite the fact you have no proof of that. You don't even know if that person is even subbed to Brand Online and has been subbed to Brand Online. You don't even know the timeline of which this person has started using YouTube or engaging in social media in relation to YouTube itself to say that he's a part of Brand Online's community. You don't know nothing about this account at all, but because of one word they say in here, which is R-word Tontas, a nasty nickname that a lot of people have labeled you, for their own personal reasons. I'm not going to say I agree or disagree with how people wish to talk about you, because that's up to them. Right? We're now about to say, oh, this is Brand Online community, and this is how you know he brigaded and sent hate towards Candybug. Don't worry, I got a clip for y'all right after this.
And his community calling me a criminal with this nickname over here kind of reminds you of Mr. Pokey and Tectone, right? It really does remind you of Mr. Pokey and Tectone, where these Hoyo CCs find it acceptable for other CCs that they're associated with to be called criminals in their comment section because they get to farm up dudes.
Oh, is he showing hate towards Tectone? Oh, that's right, because Tectone got tired of his shit too. I forgot about that. Yeah, Tectone cut that nigga off too. He got tired of his shit. He got tired of this nonsense that Saint Tontas was doing and cut that nigga off. Which rightfully so, during the whole Skill CJ drama. And he's sitting here morally grandstanding on this. Like, this nigga also has not played in that same nasty game of accusing people of crimes. You wanna know how I know this? Don't worry, I got you. Literally right here.
Feces that he feeds to his community. If you're a Saint Tontas fan, this is the type of shit that you end up believing. Now, if you think this was bad, stupid, and pathetic from the little hobgoblin himself, well, hold on tight, because the rest of the video, Tontas, he has officially decided I expect a whole ass apology directly with my motherfucking name on it, just how you have no problem saying my name when linking me and my brand to CSAM raid on your server. Okay?
In this situation, when this happened, Saint Tontas accused all the other gotcha CCs in the space, in particular Skull CJ and Captain Cabinets, of being responsible of CP being posted on, or rather in, his community Discord, which he had no proof of, but confidently said without a shadow of a doubt that, guess what? These two individuals were responsible for that, aka slandering their name and accusing them of a crime.
Okay. Now, listen to what he says right here. But before I play this one, let me play this one so you guys have some context. Now, this is my YouTube channel right here. This is my motherfucking YouTube channel. I want you guys to listen to what he says.
Total dickhead.
It's been escalating the entire fucking time because you retards won't learn when to fucking quit.
Act like her friend.
And so you lose every time. You just lose and lose and lose and lose. I don't know how you live. Like I don't know how you're able to like fucking reconcile with yourself being this big of a fucking failure. You make hundreds of videos about me. It creates so much.
Crazy that he sat there and said that shit to myself. Oh, you make hundreds of videos about me, bitch. You make hundreds of videos about other people, and that's why they got on your ass and got tired of your shit. You did that to fucking Mr. Pokey for an entire year's worth of time when Mr. Pokey wasn't even fucking with you, nor even coming at you in no type of way. But you caused the backlash to get to, you caused people to, you know what, turn around and say, no, we're not dealing with this no more, which is why the entire gotcha space got on his fucking ass. By the way, that's why he's hated in the entire gotcha space. That's why you think no one fucks with this nigga no more? Why you think his friends don't exist no more? Because he's pushed them away with this nasty behavior of his that he's shown literally, how long ago was this? 4 months ago? 4 to 5 months ago?
Much misinformation out of and you still just lose. And so now you're committing federal crimes on my fucking Discord.
That literally...
I want you to understand, right? First off, he's crashing out. Makuhita over here is crashing out, bro. Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks is crashing out on me. This gopher-looking motherfucker is crashing out. He has my channel up during this whole crash out. During this whole crash out, he has my channel up for 1/3 of this goddamn clip. 1/3 of this clip while he's crashing out, he has me and my channel on his screen, and then he proceeds to say,
still just lose. And so now you're committing federal crimes on my fucking Discord.
He proceeds to say that we're committing federal crimes on his Discord while he has me up there, right? That's the first clip. The second clip that he has.
And this is the thing. I don't blame specific creators specifically as like drivers of this happening outside of Captain Cabinets and Skull CJ.
He doesn't blame creators as the drivers of this happening outside of Captain Cabinets and yours truly. So right here, once again, he decides to directly link me as someone responsible for what's happening to him with zero evidence. And this is not no gotcha take. This ain't no, oh, he called me ugly. Oh, he said I'm a cum dumpster. This is a federal crime that he's saying that I'm directly or indirectly responsible for. This ain't no joke. This ain't not me talking shit about him. This is literally a crime that he's accusing me of being somehow, some way responsible for. Okay.
So let's make that clear as he's sitting here saying this bullshit about Brandon Line.
Zero accountability. And when somebody has this spawning in their comment section, I 100% believe they will brigade other communities. They will call other CCs racist. They will...
Which Saint Tontas has been proven to be racist and homophobic and shit like that. By the way, just to let y'all know that, from again, the whole drama that sparked off literally 5 months ago.
Accuse other CCs of crimes. Oh, wait, they already did. And they...
Like you just did with that clip. And also, he's talking about this whole brigading thing. There's no proof that Brandon Line brigaded anyone at all because there's no video clips, there's no messages, no nothing. It doesn't exist. But he's claiming that Brand Online did that. But guess what? We can most confidently say that Saint Tontas most definitely has brigaded people in the past, which is why no one fucks with his ass. Because this is how he likes to weaponize his community. Check this out, peoples. Let's check this out, shall we? Hopefully this video fucking loads up properly. Before we get into the rest of this.
I don't see I don't see content like this anywhere else.
Let's go rewind.
Let's report the channel as well. I realize that. Let's report the channel as well. I realize that. Yeah, you could just maybe you could just report the channel as well. Let's just how about this? It'll be easier. It'll actually be easier to report the channel. And the reason for that is simple, right? It's easier to report the
Look at his chat. As he's saying, report the channel. Look at his chat.
channel, right? Because if he deletes the videos, then YouTube will know that it's for the channel and not him. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's report the whole channel and reference these videos when we can.
AKA, he incited his community to brigade Skull CJ and report his channel unjustly. Let that be clear. So, as he's sitting here saying this about Brand Online, this nigga is just literally just self-projecting.
And they will try to make other CC's lives miserable. That is what your community does, Brand. It's a fact, because they tried to do it right here. Oh, wait, they didn't try. They did do it right here. I'm getting called a criminal right here.
In this video, we're going to examine those specific points, analyze what she actually said in the original video, and ask a very important question. Is she really as bad as the Genshin community is making her out to be?
Nobody can be. Nobody can be as bad as the Genshin Impact community is trying to make.
Says the guy who was on the same side of John Seaman and fucking condones John Seaman. The same motherfucker who sat here and was like, oh, I'm going to use this black cosplayer's death, aka her suicide, as justification to spark more gacha tribalism by saying, oh, guess what? What's her name? Hold up, let me get. If she had cosplayed a Wuwa character instead of a Genshin character, she wouldn't have taken her life type shit. That's literally what that nigga said on Twitter. So him sitting here being like, oh, no one as bad as the fucking Genshin community, knowing what the Wuwa community has done and condoned, they have also harassed the voice actors. On top of that, what voice actor was the JP voice actor for KallaTheYapper as well? So you see what I'm saying, right? Hopefully you understand that. If I gotta pull up proof, I'll find the videos on my phone and then play them as we scroll down.
Try to make out people to be during this time, brother.
Are the things she said really so outrageous, so objectively wrong, that they justify every ounce of criticism or the vitriol that she's receiving right now? Or is there some nuance here? That's
when somebody's getting death threats, getting doxxed, all of that stuff, there's really no justifying it from fucking gacha.
And look, now he's literally, what's the word I'm looking for? He's literally discrediting any criticism that Candy Bug got on her video by insinuating that everybody in this situation who reacted to her video, all they did was send death threats and shit like that. That's what he's doing right now. So therefore, anyone's criticism of her videos were just invalid.
Gacha game perspective. Like, unless they went ahead, like I think the only true thing that even seems slightly warranted in the level of response is Genizad telling Wuthering Waves players they should go do something in Minecraft. And then if he gets that back in response, whatever. Right?
The fact that he mentioned Genizad knowing damn well this cornball literally it's called and implied that Genocide was a pedophile because he liked Roshia from Withering Waves and C6 the character. Interesting, he sits there and says that shit.
Right? He was telling people to go jump off a cliff IRL first, right? If you get that, if you get what you dished back, I get that. Candybug was not dishing out no crazy shit like that in her videos. So a response for the community of this degree, it cannot be warranted.
Before we continue, I think it is important to make one thing very clear. I do not know this creator. I have never spoken to her. This video is simply me involving myself in a discussion that is already happening within the community. So it goes without saying that whatever praise or criticism comes from this video should be directed at me and me alone. So with that being said, if you're into this kind of content,
I bet Brand Online's gonna find a way to watch this and then blame Candybug again. Because that
Blame Candybug for what? For your actions? He wouldn't bother making a video blaming Candybug for your actions. He'll just respond to you directly, which he did in what them DMs that you showed in your last video, which I still gotta watch that, by the way.
Because that's what Brand Online keeps doing. He has problems with me, but makes videos on Candybug instead to try to like let out his frustrations. That was literally what Brand did. He had problems with me, was DMing me, and then dropped a video on Candybug instead. Like, bro.
make sure to like the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What side of the discussion do you lean towards? Do you agree more with the points made by the creator? Do you think there's nuance that people are overlooking? Or do you side with the community's rebuttals? Do you think the level of anger we're seeing right now is justified? Let me know in the comments below.
All right, since the topic is a little bit more serious, we're only going to give it one listen, but he's still doing it on purpose.
Do you think the level of anger we're seeing right now is justified? Let me know in the comments below. On any of my future videos. All right.
Bro, I'm pretty sure he like rolled his tongue in there too.
All right, let's get into it.
One more listen.
Right now is justified. Let me know in the comments below.
That's kind of crazy. It almost sounds like he's making fun of him for the way he speaks. Now, I've laughed and chuckled every time he slurred his words, obviously. But I've never done it to the sense of like making fun of the way he speaks. I would literally say, bro, don't speed up talking when it gets to this point. Just be slow about it to get your words out properly. Kind of crazy.
Any of my future videos. All right, let's get into it. Now,
That's good though. I like that. That's funny.
the first
That's a good meme to have in all of your vids. That's actually a genius one.
point Candybug said garnered the most backlash revolved
Because everyone tunes out during that point, and now people are purposefully paying attention just to see how he fucks it up this time.
around Linnea. And here's what she had to say
It's a very smart move as a CC. Very smart move. You bring attention to some of the most under-listened parts of a vid.
in the original video.
Over it. Editing Aurelia here. In the process of making this video, Linnea has been released, and I just have to interject to say, what the fuck were they thinking with this character? I feel like a crazy person because I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think she's adorable and in fact recognizes her for the creepy freak that she is.
Agreed. Yeah, no, this character's fucking weird, bro.
He knows nothing about this character and is also going to accuse the character of being a pedophile and the devs for being pedophiles for creating such a character. Watch.
Hey, I've already addressed this. I think this character's weird, and she seems like a character in like an erotic, like Japanese game or some art. You know the terms. I don't want to say that shit on YouTube though. Like she looks like she's from like an erotic game, with the emotions that she has on her face, the mouth, the facial expressions, the drooling, and all of that.
She's not even drooling. That's the crazy part. She's just smiling.
Looks like somebody's fetish put into the game.
First of all,
So, as we see both him and Candybug. He's literally just agreeing with her opinions with nothing else to back that shit up. He's just saying, oh, well, guess what? Because she's doing the grabby hand thing, oh, she's being weird and creepy. Babies do grabby hands as well. Just to let y'all know that. That's the same type of behavior we see from infants. So are infants creepy for doing the same shit?
well, she clearly has absolutely no respect for living things that are not traditionally human. She keeps
I love how Kirara is clearly seen running away, and then Paimon is seen trying to run away from her. So every character that meets this character is then trying to run away from her.
asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people. It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children.
The Mezzalines are not children, but St. Thomas is about to take this point and drive it to the nth degree. Watch.
Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part. Her trailer is sickening for the...
And I'm going to show her double down as well. Actually, you know, it's not just I'm going to show you her double down. I'm going to show you another content creator who also looked at that point that she said and fucking damn near blew a gasket about it. I think it was this individual right here.
Breaching a boundary or asking something you shouldn't have asked, and then like kind of recoiling down. I think I'm pretty much all it takes in this like
Let's go back a little more.
you know, characters are products of the author. Don't do full screen, damn it. Okay, we're back.
mind, and I should have edited it to be a bit more objective. I understand that a lot of people think I'm ableist now because of the way that I spoke about a character that people feel is autism coded. Yes, I know that people on the autism spectrum may have a difficult time picking up on social cues or personal space, and that Linnea struggles with both of these. Yes, I know about special interests and that Linnea's has to do with wildlife.
And
I never meant to diminish people with autism, and if I hurt...
she still claims, even in her double down video, that Linnea's portrayal of autism is incorrect, which is crazy because who is she to determine what is a correct and incorrect portrayal of someone with autism? Because she got a bachelor's degree in teaching so that she can teach children or be around children who have autism. That suddenly makes her a professional of what autism should and shouldn't look like in media.
Hurt you with my words. I'm so sorry for that. I just want to put my thoughts into a little bit more context.
Okay, I think that's important right there, is that none of these takes were ever done maliciously, all right, to try to invalidate anybody or to, like, try to say, oh, if you do this, you're, like, a creep or a pedophile or whatever like that. I'm taking advantage of the fact that I'm not monetized on YouTube so I can say these words without, like...
I'm monetized on YouTube, but my shit I don't get paid because I haven't filled out my form.
Stupid YouTube censorship. But it's
he's claiming that she didn't say that with malicious intent. Unfortunately for him and her, she did do it maliciously. Now the intent may not have been malicious, but it was done maliciously. Let's not ignore that.
So I recognize there it's not intentional. I can't accept your apology because I don't have autism. At least I've not been diagnosed. I actually do suspect I may be on the spectrum there, but I do have ADHD, so I do understand, like, you know, the aspects of just neurodivergence and feeling just inherently different. And there is quite a bit of overlap between the two, but I don't have autism, so I'm not gonna, like, try to take that or accept that apology if it wasn't directed to me. But at least acknowledged it, that it wasn't, like, malicious or anything like that. I think that's the first good step.
First off, I went to school to become a teacher. I have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, so I'm familiar with different disabilities and what those look like for...
Okay. This is going to sound a little bit mean, but I've tried to, like, write it down the best way to phrase it, but even if you've, like, gone and you've gotten education in early child development and you studied it and have a bachelor's degree in it, and she mentioned that she actually works with children with various disabilities and on the spectrum of neurodivergence, not just autism, I'm assuming, just by the way it's worded, that does not make you immune to having ableist takes or implicit biases that are ableist that end up showing up in, like how you talk. And it's not necessarily your fault because it's conditioned into us. At a societal level, like a whole, it's just something that's just kind of like subliminally like taught into us. But learning to recognize it and then try to learn from it is what is super important here.
Students, I knew.
So let me rewind 10 seconds.
Not gonna lie, hey, this response kind of too soft for me. Not gonna lie, it's a little too forgiving for my taste. But he gave his take. Now I'm gonna show someone else who gave their take on the same thing. Let me scroll. Let me find it, baby. Let me find it. Go, we getting down. Hold up. Here it is. Here's another one.
This singular video has united the Genshin YouTube fans, the Facebook dwellers, and even the worst, the TikTok fans. Now kidding about the last part, but this video is truly awful. She must have done the whole game with a blindfold and earplugs, because there's no sensible way of getting to this conclusion otherwise. The introduction is fine and we can skip it since, well, she yaps on about what Genshin is and basically nothing else. Let's dive into part 1.
Let's go to this part right here.
No respect for living things that are not traditionally human. She keeps asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people. It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children. Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part. They literally make a point to emphasize the humanity of the Melusines and how they had to fight to be accepted in Fontanian society, and now we have a playable character who we are supposed to think is cute, harassing them and treating them as though they are pets. It's disgusting. Her trailer is sickening for the same reason. She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Seedween, who, again, looks like a child, and Kira, along with other Melusines and Nekomata. It reads as extremely fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about look like children. She chases these people around and doesn't see.
She literally says that as if she did not just say Kirara and showed Ito on screen that, guess what? Fucking Linnea has interest in as well. So to say that to imply that, because the implication here is that Linnea is a pedophile by Candy Bug, despite the fact we have characters that Linnea has come up to who don't even look like children, and she has shown fascination towards them, aka Kirara and Ito, as we saw in her trailer, disproves her entire take.
Doesn't seem to let up after being told multiple times to back off. There are multiple promotional materials in which she asks to touch a Melusine, which makes me think that it's happened more than.
And what's so crazy is she's sitting here painting it as pedophilia, despite the fact there has been no showing from Linnea herself in the game or even in her story quest showing any type of sexual attraction towards children in the slightest. Anytime she asks, "Can I pet you?" or this and third, when it comes down to like small cute creatures or creatures she finds cute and interesting and mesmerizing, there has been no showing of any sexual implication, but that's how she saw that and took it that way and framed it that way when it came down to Linnea's character, which is a blatant, dishonest portrayal of said character.
More than once or twice.
I feel like this boy is so out of the world that is crazy. She's not attracted to them. She gets cuteness aggression from them. Like kittens or puppies. People also have it with babies because they're literally meant to be cute to us. It makes sense for Linnea, who canonically likes cute stuff, to like Melusines and other small creatures. Have you seen anything so cute that you want to pet it, touch it? Obviously, that's the normal human response to cuteness, and some people are really aggressive about it. That's the reason why there's cuteness aggression. I also get it with my cat, but I don't mean it anything else than I find her really cute. After all, I'm not Shane Dawson, and I don't think Linnea is.
True, I felt that way towards my own dog. My dog can be adorable sometimes, even though he pisses me off sometimes, with always barking his head off at every other dog that walked past our house.
Shane Dawson either. She's just a girl who really likes cute stuff. This point is utterly ridiculous.
She doesn't even have an interesting design to make up for it.
Oh, another thing too, which was on the screen.
It's a girl who really likes cute stuff. This point is.
It's also very disingenuous to actual victims of pedophiles. Exactly. Because of her doing this, what Candy Bug did, it also waters down what the fuck pedophilia actually is. Because now it's watered down to, oh, you like cute stuff, therefore you're a pedophile. Now let's get back to this video.
For the same reason, she fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Seedween, who, again, looks like a child. And Kirara, along with other Melusines and Nekomata.
Kirara being in that bundle disproves her entire pedophile implication, like I said earlier.
Wait, so what's the issue with her points?
Reads as extremely.
What's the issue with her points? He asks, because he doesn't play the game and doesn't know nothing about Linnea as a character. But you're about to see this entire chat disagree with it. Oh wow, look at this. All this holier than thou things over fictional characters in a fictional setting is so tiring. I'm done here. Oh, at least there's some people with some common sense in there.
Fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about.
What's wrong with her points?
Look like.
Now, this is a very interesting take on Linnea as a character. And if we indeed looked at the Genshin community side of the...
It's just true, isn't it? This bitch is weird as hell. But don't worry, guys. We had Brown Online go in and start clutching his pearls, saying the wildest shit ever during his react so that she could get some more flack for this one.
Oh, I said worse shit. I was more aggressive in comparison to Brand Online. Brand Online was soft in his reaction to her video. Mine wasn't. I was unapologetic.
Discussion. You will quickly realize that this is where a huge portion of the backlash really comes from. And one of the biggest rebuttals people made was that Linnea is autism coded. Now, personally, I don't think whether a character is autism coded or not has much bearing on an argument like this. However,
hey guys, let's just say she is autistic. Does that mean she gets to sexually harass every character in the game?
Again, he's taking what Candy Bug said as fact, despite the fact this is not true in the game itself, nor in her character trailer. You see what I said he was going to do at the start of this reaction? He's doing it right now.
I'm just wondering. So is being autistic an excuse to sexually harass every character in the game? Because
for people who are autistic, who felt connected to Linnea, please observe as this disingenuous piece of shit is literally framing Linnea and agreeing with Candy Bug's take about her being a pedophile when she is not a pedophile, nor shows any sexual attraction at all. This is disgusting behavior, as you can see from St. Tonsis alone. If this is your first time seeing St. Tonsis and how he acts, good, so that you know to avoid such an individual. To tell others to be very, keep their eye open around such an individual. Just to let you know that.
What she does would constitute a sexual harassment. If you try doing that to a girl in real life, you're going to jail. If you
But we're not talking about real life. We're talking about fictional characters.
try to do anything this bitch does to another person, you're going to jail. That should explain enough to you.
Again, so dishonest framing of this character. And then being like, well, if you did this in real life, of course, if you did it in real life, it would be a problem. Which I'm pretty sure people who are autistic have dealt with these problems before when they're being accused of doing a crime when they aren't doing crimes. And they're just responding in a unique way to them because they don't respond in the quote-unquote normal fashion.
To you. If you try to do what Linnea does in-game, you're going to jail.
He says in-game. Again, more proof that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because Linnea does not sexually harass anyone in-game.
I can still understand why so many...
Not in the UK. Maybe that's why Brand Online has been going so hard on her.
Oh, wow. Did you just see that? Did y'all saw that? Let's re-listen to what he said again. He read someone's message in chat. Let's listen to that again.
Try to do what Linnea does in-game, you're going to jail.
I can still understand why so many...
Not in the UK. Maybe that's why Brand Online has been going so hard on her.
people in...
So, he just sat there and said, now he's accusing Brand Online of being someone who sexually assaults women or little girls. He just made that implication explicitly. After everything he just said about Linnea, about, oh, if you did that in real life, you would go to jail. The person in the chat says, not in the UK. And then his response is, oh, maybe that's why Brand Online is going so hard on Candy Bug. Do we not understand the implication of his words here? He's literally saying that Brand Online is literally targeting Candy Bug so that he can sexually harass her because he can get away with it because he lives in the UK. How utterly vile.
People in the community took issues with what Candy Bug said. But I don't think it is simply because she was wrong. No, rather, I think she approached the character from an incredibly extreme point of view. And even though we could make the arguments that this is just an anime video game, or point out that...
I'm gonna say this right now. Nigerian perspective, he was correct on the first point of his video. That's what he was correct on. Points 2 all the way to the end, incorrect all the way through.
Linnea isn't a real person with any agency of her own. I think there's a much more compelling reason why people don't interpret Linnea the same way Candy Bug does. And that's is context. The context of the character, the setting she is in, the circumstances surrounding her, the kind of story Genshin is trying to tell, the type of entertainment Genshin Impact is. I mean, I think far too many people underestimate just how important context is when analyzing any character. And to show you what I mean, here's a question. What if we took Linnea exactly as she is, every personality trait, every mannerism, every scene from this trailer, especially this one in particular, and transplanted her into the anime Made in Abyss? An anime whose entire identity revolves around the suffering and abuse of children. What emotion do you think that would evoke within you? Because for me, regardless of our innocence...
Isn't this like the most fucked up show like ever?
So harmless.
Yeah, I never watched this shit because everyone said this shit was fucking weird. Hey, that shit looked weird to me.
Linnea may appear, regardless of whether she's autism coded or not. My first reaction wouldn't...
Yeah, if Linnea was in Made in Abyss, she would be a villain, wouldn't she?
Oh my god. Oh, let's continue.
Be that she is cute, it would be fear, it would be disgust. And that is exactly expected, more so because the context surrounding that character has fundamentally changed. And if you've watched Made in Abyss, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But in Genshin Impact, it is completely different. People don't look at Linnea or any character in Genshin Impact and immediately think fetishistic or abusive, because that is simply not what Genshin has ever presented itself as. That's...
Well, have you seen Escoffier?
Oh my god. Oh my lord, oh my lord, oh my lord. You see, he is about to insinuate that fan service equates to a character fetishizing about touching little creatures that, quote unquote, by that person's logic, looks like children. He's equating it to fan service. Oh my lord.
I'm gonna be honest. This is where I'm gonna have some pushback, brother.
When you say fetishistic, that has a whole different label. You saying, oh, I like hot women dressed as chefs, right? That's one thing. But when you throw the word fetishistic on there, the context changes entirely to something more, how can I say, wicked, something more vile, something more disgusting when such a word is used. Let's be clear about that.
This is somebody that wanted to like fuck a gender bent Gordon Ramsay. Like that is probably like the best definition. Like that's.
And what's even crazier, he's sitting here applying it to Genshin Impact as if Genshin Impact literally fetishizes or has fetishes across the board with this. AKA, he's literally agreeing with the same and making the same points that Candy Bug herself would have made. Verbatim 1-to-1.
That's what Escoffier is. Like somebody at Hoyo wanted to gender bend Gordon Ramsay and fuck him.
Oh my god, now he's accusing Hoyoverse of creating Gordon Ramsay and gender bending him so that they can have a sexy female chef. Brother, we've had sexy female chefs exist in the game before Escoffier was even a thing. Does Shang Ling not exist to people? Let's pull this up. Genshin. Ling. Search. Literally. Shang Ling was the first chef character in the entire game. Are we going to say Hoyoverse gender bent and change the race of Gordon Ramsay so that they can put him in their game as this sexy cute chef from anime China? What type of logic?
She doesn't even look like she's wearing clothes. Like it doesn't look like
she doesn't look like she's wearing clothes while simultaneously showing us her with clothes on. What?
She's wearing a shirt. It doesn't look like she's
wearing a shirt, she's wearing a skirt, and she got thigh-high socks with shoes on.
Wearing like pants or anything. It literally looks like she's wearing nothing. And this,
yeah, there's a whole term for this where it looks like, oh, it looks like she doesn't have any underwear on, but she actually does, but you can't see it because the legs are positioned in such a way that it's hiding it. I forgot what the term is. I remember hearing it from another anime, isekai type anime, where they mentioned what the term was.
This is what I meant by this is somebody's fetish. If your girlfriend was doing like a naked apron thing, she'd wear more clothes than that.
Again, he's insinuating that someone at Hoyo has a pedophilic fetish, and they poured that into Linnea's character, and that's why Linnea is the way that she is. And so he's using the example of, well, Scoffier is fetishistic because she's a sexy chef. So because of that, the same thing clearly happened to Linnea when she was put into the game, which is so dishonest. There's no proof to back that up. And he's literally just doing, oh, well, because I can see fetishistic in this character, that means it must also apply across the board to every other character.
Than this. That's the crazy fucking part. Doing this IRL as a thing, you'd wear more clothes than this character actually is wearing. And that's how I know her arguments actually do have a fair amount of weight.
No, they don't. Because, again, Nigerian perspective is literally talking about the context matters. The context of Genshin shows, literally, if you play the story, if you know this character, that she does not move in such a way that she's fetishizing the fucking mezzanine and wanting to touch them inappropriately. No shit like that exists in the game or any content outside the game. When it comes down to like, oh, they're promotional material for Linnea's character. This is dishonest framing.
Wait, because the devs have been caught putting their fetish shit in the game. And
see, he just accused them for someone being a pedophile on the team and pouring that into Linnea's character.
So for her to call out the devs putting in more fetish shit into the game, knowing that this is the same company that's putting out ZZZ and Lucy's summer skins.
Lucy's summer skin is fine for a girl of her body type to wear because it's realistic as shit, because we've seen girls like that dress in such swimsuits. Why are we acting like girls of that size don't wear those swimsuits? Again, this nigga is ignorant when it comes down to knowing what children are. By the way, this is the same guy who's sitting here saying this shit while simultaneously, don't worry, I got y'all. This is the same dude. Hopefully this shit loads fast. Actually, let me close this tab. Saint Tontas is the same nigga
feces that he feeds to his community. If you're a Saint Tontas fan,
give it a second.
This is the type of shit that you end up believing. Now, if you think this was bad, stupid, and pathetic from the little hobgoblin himself, well, hold on tight, because the rest of the video is...
Sorry about that. Close that.
Feces that he feeds.
Let's pull up this Ricardo video. Just so I can show y'all. This video was a while ago, just to let y'all know that. But it's still best to show this so you can know what the fuck I'm talking about. When Saint Tontas wanted to try to eat his cake and have it too. When he promoted a game that it has lolly characters in it, by the way. Oh, him accusing Zoden for being a pedophile with no proof. Here it is. St. Thomas is a two-faced sellout. Let's look at this.
Get right into it for this one. St. Tontas has been repeatedly accusing the Zenless Zone Zero community categorically for being pedophiles, with his most recent hit piece coming from his reaction of the version 2.6 livestream. We already know his song and dance of bullshit, so I won't bore you with the details. Just know that his video was rightfully destroyed by the gacha community and completely eclipsed his most recent smear campaign of the version 2.5 livestream reaction. I'm here today to tell you that the clown himself does not actually give two shits about what he's shoveling into his audience's mouths, and it is all performative outrage for the sole purpose of cashing in on an easy topic. No integrity, no guiding principles, no backbone whatsoever. Here's what you have to understand about St. Tontas' opinions of childlike characters in Zenless Zone Zero. Suna and Arya are not the starting point of this conversation. Far from it. He's been going after the ZCC community with implications of being sex offenders for a while now, with the most consistent and recent example being Jafufu after her debut in version 2.0 and throughout whenever he gets a chance to implicate the community over the feisty Tiger Theron.
This is Jufufu saying she's not actually a kid, she's just small. And yeah, that has 1.5 million views, 16k likes. What do you guys think is on their hard drives? I'm gonna be honest here. I will put money on at least 70% of the people that like this probably would go to jail if their hard drives were inspected by the police. I'm just saying. I'd probably put money on that. Absolutely.
I'm presenting this clip now so that you understand that Saint's standards for what is considered pedobait does not start with Suna's release, and any attempts to downplay what I'm about to talk about is him simply moving the goalposts. In his eyes, a character with a petite body physique and a couple deliberately chosen camera angles in gameplay is enough for him to bastardize an entire gacha community, regardless of how covered up and clothed the character is. That is his criteria. That is where he draws the line. So with that established, it's time to catch this man red-handed and show just how little he actually cares about his own guiding beliefs. Because for St. Tontas, he's only interested in his own personal agendas and his bottom line.
Watch
She
this.
finally arrived. Florence, the latest T-Doll joining Girls Frontline 2's roster, will be available in Thriller 1.
This fucking lolly, by the way. And I had niggas in my comment section when I reacted to this video claiming Florence was not a lolly. She is blatantly a lolly. She is a petite body build. On top of that, she is a fucking lolly.
Thriller Wonderland, a brand new update launching on October 16th. And I wanted to take the time to break down all of the exciting new additions arriving in this update, with tons of free goodies, events, and new features.
In October of 2025, St. Tontas accepted a sponsorship deal to show off an upcoming game version for Girls Frontline 2 using a pre-release client. This version featured the newly released limited banner doll named Florence, alongside her story content in an event named Thriller Wonderland. Right off the bat, it is immediately clear that Florence is a lolly character, but she also happens to be one of the most sexualized characters in Girls Frontline 2 as well. Yet despite this, St. Tontas had absolutely zero problem with accepting a sponsorship deal to livestream the patch and cut it up into segments to upload to his YouTube channel. When compared to Jafufu, Florence has more than triple the number of instances where her ass is being shown off in a sexualized manner, either by specific camera angles or by her own poses. Beyond that, however, that is where the similarities between these two characters end, and Florence digs further down the rabbit hole of just how sexual you can get with a lolly character. She's into BDSM with a whip and her pet bear, which is very clearly wearing a medical-themed gimp suit. She can be seen with several different kinds of drugs with implied malicious intent behind her own facial expressions. She has several references to sexual arousal in her character introduction and skill unlock names. She has a stripper pole in one of her dorm interaction options that you can click on to make her dance with it. Her episode 4 affinity story has the player character using a switch on her that adjusts her physical sensations and arousal with multiple settings for levels of intensity. The Thriller Wonderland event story itself has Florence saying and doing some pretty wild shit with the player character. And there's even a line said by the player character before one of the aforementioned event story battles where they say word for word, "It's time for your correction, Florence." Correction being used as a popular slang within the lolicon community. And this is all before I've even mentioned Florence's skins. We've got Marvelous Keikiam, which is just her wearing a transparent sweater with only a thigh strap and a pair of white panties. The second being Alluring Larkspur, an incredibly revealing and customizable Chinese dress just recently revealed for the upcoming patch for the CN version of the game. And just as a little extra, here are some of Florence's other skins available in Girls Frontline 1 and Project NeuroCloud. The possibility of any one of these making a return to GFL2 one day being on the table, as it has already happened to several other playable dolls. Florence is all of this in just one package, yet St. Tontas has absolutely no problem with endorsing this for sponsored content to his audience. There is no universe where this logic is consistent with his crash outs over the Angels of Delusion in Zenless Zone Zero. The only logical conclusion that would make sense for why St. Saint is okay with this is once again a situation of double standards to push his own gacha tribalism narratives. The clown has been practically the sole driving force for gacha war across the big four for months now 5 with the debut of Arknight's Enfield. Girls Frontline 2, by comparison, is of no threat or negative impact to him and his precious little woowa, so he just doesn't care. And yet despite all the slander and propaganda he's been pushing, he will never understand one thing. In the free market of ideas, Wuthering Waves just doesn't have the same pull as the industry monolith that is Hoyoverse. No matter.
Boom. All right, that's enough of that. You get the point. Let's proceed forward.
And when it's a relatively new occurrence that's happening, I think it's very fair to call out. So that's going to be my pushback here, at least on this point. But then again, Nigerian hasn't finished his.
That's not the tone of the game. That's not the narrative being told. Neither the world around Linnea or the situation she's placed in are designed to make the audience feel disgust or anything like that. They're rather designed to come across as wholesome, cute, endearing. And really, this isn't unique to Genshin Impact. I mean, that would be like saying that Methodi from Frieren is fetish.
Guys, this is like us calling out Zenless Zone Zero, putting out those fucking Angels of Delusion characters and skins, bro. It's a little weird.
And creepy because she likes giving head pats to smaller girls, or saying Nami from One Piece is abusive because she beats Luffy black and blue whenever he says something incredibly stupid. I mean, sure, you could make those arguments, but almost no one would take them seriously because everyone understands the intent behind those scenes. They're meant to be cute, they're meant to be funny, and context is what allows the audience to recognize that.
And I get that. Cute.
No, you don't.
The whatever thing, the goofy vibe of Genshin, I get it, but...
See, there's the but. I mean, he doesn't get it because he's just saying this just to argue.
It's weird when every character wants to run away from her. It's weird when she's the one that wants to, like, snuggle up and get really physical with everybody, and every unit in the game is seen trying to get away.
Every unit in the game is seen trying to get away from her. We only saw that from about 3 characters. Technically, not even 3, 2. Paimon and Kirara are the only ones we saw run away from Linnea. Ito didn't run away from her. Sijuin didn't run away from her. What are we talking about?
Get away from her.
The next post that garnered a huge amount of attention and criticism was the discussion surrounding Natlan and Sumer, with Candy Bug specifically saying that she was called racist over some of the things she said about these 2 regions.
Oh, this one was the biggest part. And Bran keeps saying this. Bran online keeps crying about how I said he's the reason why she's being called racist.
That is what you said in your video. Why are you acting like that's not what you said? Do we need to pull up your clip?
Bran keeps translating that too.
Don't worry, I got you, because he's not gonna do the most good faith thing ever to show that what he's saying didn't happen. Don't worry, I got y'all. Because it doesn't take a genius to do this. It doesn't. Let's go check out that video, shall we?
This is so absurd, and I cannot believe that this guy is just choosing to ignore
Yonson's place. I wonder why that is.
Racism is the reason she's thinking.
Guys, you have
invented just to take Yonson's
and Verisa on the screen. So, when you look at these 2 characters, there's probably a couple of takes that you can make, right? One is like this Gooterbait, giant, like, badonkers, big bazookas, huge fat ass, and like a mini skirt, and like the most revealing outfit ever. And then you got like this little kid thing. One of them got demoted to a 4-star, the other got demoted, the other one's a 5-star. You could have just simply made the take. Genshin did this for maximum profitability because of the goonability of Verisa, compared to, obviously, Yansan. Because, like, well, I mean, one situation, you probably go to jail, right? So, that could have easily been the explanation that Brand Online decided to go with, right? Or, he could have just simply tossed it out as an alternative explanation. But instead, he just goes with, she's implying it's racist.
Because that's what she did do. Anyone with brain cells can see that. I swear, this nigga cannot talk about anything related to any race topic at all. He needs to shut the fuck up.
She's insinuating Hoyoverse is racist. It's racism.
I wonder why that is.
Racism is the reason she's thinking.
And so, when that's what's said in one of the biggest Genshin CC ever, his react video to yours, it's kind of obvious, right? That there's going to be people that end up calling you racist as a result of this. We can...
Brother, if that doesn't show you that he is labeling Brown Online as the reason why she is being called racist for his reaction towards her video, I don't know what else does.
It's saying I called her racist. No, bitch, you don't understand words. That's the issue. I said you're the reason why she's being called racist. You don't... Sate's saying I called her racist. No, bitch, you don't understand words. That's the
That is what you did initially, but then you straighten your words out with the most recent video that I just showed people.
issue. I said you're the reason why she's being called racist. You don't need to call someone racist directly for them to end up being called racist.
And you don't need to say that someone called another person racist or labeled another person racist being explicit about it. You can literally be subtle about it, like what you did to Brand Online. Crazy, right?
Imagine if I said this, Brand Online, and this is an example. Brand, I heard you really hate black people. I didn't call you racist, right?
Look how disgusting this is. He's now going to use my skin color as a way to attack Brand Online in his example. Disgusting.
But people might pick up on that and then call you racist afterwards. That's just an example of how you can end up being called racist even if someone didn't directly say that you're racist. It's truly that.
Guess what? You can do, like I said earlier, you can do the same thing of accusing someone of calling another person racist or being racist by doing the same shit that you do to Brand Online, which is, oh, well, because he said this is going to garner people to call her racist. You're literally accusing him of being the reason why she got called racist, when that's not what happened.
That simple, and he could not understand that. He could not understand that. He's like, Saint keeps saying I called her racist. He's spreading misinfo. I didn't do that. I don't lie about these things. Don't fold to Saint that said you called that CC racist. So Brad just believes retarded out of
Brother, we saw the clip. Ain't nobody fucking retarded. You insinuated that he's the reason that person was called racist. Regardless if you want to play semantics about, oh, what was said. That was the implication nonetheless. That he is the reason why she's being called racist.
of context, literally made up comments from his chatters. Takes it as a fact. Brand will just trust random chatters who lie. I didn't even call her racist. I literally said she was talking about Hoyo being racist. I'm pretty sure.
And because of the malicious lies being pushed by Saint Tontas, as he disingenuously, maliciously clipped his video or his stream out of context, and then that shit spread it on the internet, of course, naturally, guess what? People are going to come to the conclusion that Brand Online called her racist. And even in your own video, that's what you did before you had to straighten up your words.
I never once said the CC was racist. That's what people see when out-of-context clips are taken at face value.
That, was pushed by, guess who? Saint Tontas.
This just shows how little Brand is able to understand any of the reasons for why he's getting shit. He's still...
Yeah, because you're starting shit with him because you have an issue with him, because you have beef with him over past shit where he called out your butt buddy and you came to defend him because you're a disgusting piece of shit of a human being.
Still keeps sticking to his guns. He keeps spamming. I didn't directly call her racist, guys. I did it.
Again, Saint Tontas started this, but Saint Tontas don't want to acknowledge that because he's too much of a prideful piece of shit.
I said you're the reason she's being called racist, but you still keep straw manning it by saying I didn't even call her racist.
Well, guess what? Because of what you did, guess what? People out there believe that he called her racist when he didn't because of your out of context, dishonest clip farming.
And he can't fucking stop at this point, bro.
Now, before we even get into what she actually said, I think there's something much more frustrating that needs to be addressed. The idea that giving criticism towards certain elements within Natlan or Sumeru somehow gets someone labeled with all these terms.
Which, again, this fool, Nigerian Perspective and Saint Tontas don't know the reason why that she was labeled as racist. And it had nothing to do with her take on... Well, actually, it has her take to do with Natlan and her take related to Nefer. And the sexism label was about her misogyny towards the female characters in Genshin while simultaneously sucking the dick of every male character. That's why. I think I may need to show this as well. So let's go ahead and show this now.
I don't see it, I don't see content like this anywhere else.
Let's take a look at it, shall we? Again, I'm going to keep always playing this clip over and over. I'm so glad this woman ain't take down this video because this would be hard for me to do every damn time. Just dumbass niggas say this shit. So let's go ahead and play this part, shall we?
Or like Nicole, who is mute in name only. She just talks in people's heads using her magic, so Hoyo can pretend that they have a character with a disability.
They never framed her as being a character with a disability, by the way.
Or like Nefer, experiencing racism at the hands of the academia, while having the palest skin you could possibly imagine.
Boom. This is one of the reasons why people deemed her as a racist, because she believes that the racism that is ultimately experienced by people who live in the Middle East, by the way, these people are of fair skin and brown skin and of dark skin, and their story of how, or any stories related to them of how they experience racism and prejudice doesn't matter or is devalued by the fact that the main character experiencing that is white or of fair skin. Because Candybug was viewing the story of racism or prejudice that Nefer was going through the American lens. And because of that, she believes that a story related to racism and prejudice should only be depicted via a character of brown skin, and believes the character of fair skin is not the appropriate character to be the main character of such a story. Again, she looked at it from the American lens rather than the lens of the people who live in where? The Middle East. That's why she was wrong. This is one of the big contributing factors for why people called her racist. For her sexist comments, we can look no further than fucking, guess what? Verissa and her take on Verissa. Let's listen to that, shall we?
And again, this fan service is never equal opportunity. The male characters never get to have interactions or relationships like this with the player. Why not? We also have character-specific tropes. Verissa, I'm getting to you now. She was tailor-made for the feeder fetish. I kid you not.
She literally looks at Verissa, a character who loves to stuff her face, and immediately jumps to, oh, it's a fetish. Despite the fact we have popular characters in anime who love stuffing their face. Case in point, I'm not even going to use the usual example. Y'all going to be shocked by this. Fairy Tail's Natsu loves to stuff his fucking face. It's literally one of his character traits, or one of the tropes that he plays into as a character. Do y'all see it on screen? Nigga stuffing his face, cleaning plates. Do we see what's on screen? Do we see it? Okay, so she's bitching up. So she's over here claiming it's fetishistic for Verissa to be stuffing her face, despite the fact this is a trope in anime that we've seen from both male and female characters. How is this fetishistic? Does that make sense, bro? So now with both of those points covered, from the racist point, and
obviously
from the racist point and the fetishistic point, she's completely wrong here. She's purposely looking at it that way to come to that conclusion about Verissa.
But not
That's why both Nigerian perspective and Saint Tontas is about to be wrong here.
the game itself. There's a reason that whenever I've talked about cultural representation in Genshin Impact, I've deliberately narrowed the conversation down to accents. The absolute bare minimum. The least these
Yeah, I love how she's the one getting called racist when Mabuika's white.
Oh my god, tell me you don't know nothing about this culture at all without telling me. Okay, so now let's do this. Skin tones of the people who live in the Ring of Fire, which just encompasses all nations or places in the world that is on the on the line of fire. That's what on the map. That's basically what the Ring of Fire is. Okay, let's read. People living along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 25,000 mile arc of volcanoes and tectonic faults, exhibit a massive diverse spectrum of skin tones, ranging from pale and fair to deep brown. This variation is tied to native geography. geography, geograph feed, geograph. Yep. I hate when I can't pronounce this fucking word right. Anyway, historical migrations and the sun blocking effects of ash and soot. Skin tones across the active geological zone vary regionally. Literally, do you see this? The Americas, natives and indigenous populations historically shown various shades of brown. East and South Asia and Southeast Asia, populations living near the fault lines in places like Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines typically exhibit light to medium brown skin tones. Oceania, and indigenous and local populations across the southwestern Pacific. Whatever, I don't know what that is. Papua New Guinea and New Zealand predominantly feature deep brown to dark skin tones. So, considering the fact that that's what Natland was based off of these places that, you know, hit that fucking ring of fire fault line, this nigga Saint Tonta talking about some, oh, Mavwika's skin being fair-skinned is stupid and ridiculous, shows how ignorant he is on the topic of racism, or on the topic about different cultures of people with different skin tones. I bet this nigga would be shocked to see a Latin American with fair skin. Or better yet, I bet this nigga Saint Tonta would be shocked if he were to see a nigga from the motherland, Africa, with fair skin. Oh, was it fair skin? Or it was white skinned Africans. I forgot how I did this. Pale. Let's do pale skin. Oh, what? I spelled pale wrong. Pale skin African shirt. Look at these pale skinned Africans. You see this? Some of these niggas are literally Africans, born from the motherland, but they just got fair skin. Look at his Facebook page. Africans come in all skin shades. Does this tell you or don't tell you the ignorance of Saint Tontas when it comes down to this topic? Y'all tell me if I'm off base. Let's continue.
Games can give to bring out some semblance of culture into these regions. Because the moment you spend any real
Guys, Mavawika's white, but let's call the CC racist.
time in these regions, or do even a little bit of research into the culture,
It's crazy that even Nigerian perspective, some do a little bit of research into these cultures. When you do research into these cultures about what skin tones that they have in there, you find fair skin in it. So it's not incorrect to show a character of fair skin and a character of brown skin, literally in said nation. That's the inspiration of all those collective cultures. So that's why he's fucking wrong.
cultures they're inspired by, you quickly realize that there are plenty of legitimate criticisms to be made about how they're depicted. I mean,
No, not really.
have you ever wondered why Natlan and Sumeru are the only regions in Genshin Impact that mash together so many completely different cultures and traditions?
And guess what? Nigerian perspective was wrong about this as well when it came out to this take in particular. So allow me to do this. Let me go back to my channel when I reacted to this video initially. Because guess what I discovered? Because someone mentioned in my comment section. Or better yet, we don't even need to do that. Let me just go here. Go to all. I'm going to show my comment section. I'm going to show this Google search. Which nations, or rather, which culture is Fontaine based off of? Let's read. So as we can see, look at this. Fontaine is primarily based on France, drawing heavily from the French Renaissance, Industrial Revolution, and the Belle Epoque era. Sorry, I can't read that. Its aesthetics blends classic French elements such as Haussmann style architecture and Parisian Zenith roofs with steampunk machinery. However, players and official lore notes it's a broader mix of Western European cultures, the UK, Italy, and other influences, traces of Scottish and Spain. So, as we can see, Fontaine is not solely France. It's the UK as a whole, Italy, Scottish, and Spanish. Yeah. So that's where a Nigerian perspective is wrong.
Into one single nation.
Because Hoyo's
The
trying.
reason he's wrong because he's about to say the next point that Fontaine is just France, like it's only made of one culture, when it's not.
And not to offend everybody at once. And the more you mishmash together, the less something is, so the less people you can offend.
Something you don't see in literally any other region. I mean, Mondstadt is primarily German inspired.
Look how he says primarily German inspired, but he doesn't show the other stuff. So let's also do the Google search on this as well. Okay, he may have been spot on with hold up, what? Oh, German culture primarily, with heavy inspiration from the border Central and Western European region. So there's other cultures tied to it as well that's not solely Germany. Oh, the geograph also completely resembles alpine regions like Switzerland and Austria. Other places in the UK more than likely, obviously. Or at least New Zealand. I know that's in the UK. Forgive me, my UK brothers and sisters. Anyway. So, point being made. Also, I need to pull up this comment section really quickly. This video right here. This is a lengthy 3-hour video. They've achieved a truly godlike feat. Forgive me for this lengthy ass 3-hour long reaction. It shouldn't have been that long, but it ended up being that long. But let me go to my comment section so I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Oh, let me switch from. Oh, here it is right here. This is the first one. I'm so tired of people saying Fontaine is only French when there's clear inspiration from Italy and England. Also, there are some references to Spanish culture, and I personally don't even see a problem with matching different cultures as inspiration. In the case of Sumeru, all inspirations come from cultures that are near each other, even if they are different cultures. In the case of Natland, I think it makes sense to be inspired in so many different cultures, since it's a nation where different tribes, aka cultures, live together in the same piece of land. Basically, they want the difference to be clear, but they still similarities because in the end, they live in the same place and believe in the same things. Okay, they're talking about the lore of the game when it comes down to like Natland. But point being made.
Lear is Chinese, Inazuma is Japanese, Fontaine is French, Shineznaya is Russian. But when we get into Sumeru and Natlan, the regions inspired by cultures outside Europe and East Asia.
Bro, like Natlan is like India, Aztecs, the fucking Mexico indigenous people, like fucking Hawaii, as well as like the Pacific Islands in New Zealand. Like, bro, it's like basically every fucking island in the world. Sure, right? Let's add booty shorts and motorcycles.
Dishonest framing because you don't know about the technology in Natland, claiming that this advanced technology in Natland has no place in it, despite the fact we are literally told that Shalonen created the bike as well, and we see advanced technology from other people in Natland that's not solely Mavwika, who also ride on machines as well in combat. If niggas seem to forgot that shit. And the reason why it looks advanced is because it's supposed to look advanced. Because the ancient secret source technology from the dragons is meant to look ancient. They're not supposed to look the same.
and BDS. Let's make the Archon of all these islands a BDS.
And on top of that, guess what? The people of Natlan in the modern day of Genshin Story are of the modern time. They are not left in the past with no type of technology, with no type of civilization at all. They are modern as well. But people think modern must mean, oh, well, they got cell phones and shit, when it's like, no. Or modern, like in our real life modern. Like, no, they don't have that. They're modern in the sense of where they are in Teyvat for their time frame on their planet, with the rest of the world in Teyvat. Which, let me find this clip. I want to find this clip real quick. I think it was her video.
How willfully obtuse people will be about Kaladina, pretending not to see the fan service that is sitting right in
fan service is a very different topic of conversation from well written. Those are two separate things. Characters can be fan servicey whilst also being well written.
She hides behind the Traveler when she doesn't know how to talk to people. Aw, she likes to eat snacks.
Oh, suddenly bitches.
This is the reason why people called her sexist, because of how aggressive she was when it come down to the female characters and how she spoke about them, and dishonestly framed their characters and watered them down to the most basic bitch shit to downplay the significance of the character and everything they had going on, just to be like, oh, this was just done for fan service, the male gaze, all the other bullshit, aka feminist talking points. Let me play this.
Of those objects, maybe they wouldn't have felt so out of place. And another problem with the tech is that no one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all.
Again, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna play this again.
Problem with the tech is that no one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all.
No one in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all. Okay, so Mualani, she has a Sharky. That's like a sentient creature. That's not tech. Kinich, that's not tech either. That's a how. So then you get to Kachina. Kachina is in the same tribe as Jalonan. It stands to reason that Jalonan probably made what's it called? So it's not Jumpy Dumpty. That's Klee. Turbo Twirly. It stands to reason that Jalonan probably made the Turbo Twirly, right? Sitlali doesn't have that technology. Auroron doesn't have technology, right? They're all Masters of the Nightwind. Chaska is a very close friend of Jalonan. We know that Jalonan made that gun. We know that for a fact. We know that during a voice line, Chaska mentions that Jalonan built it, right? Mawika, we know that her bike was built by Jalonan. Jalonan skates, we know, were built by Jalonan. Veressa doesn't have tech. Ianson doesn't have tech. Are we starting to see a pattern? Only the playable characters have it. You mean 3 of them? 4 at most, if we assume that Turbo Twirly was built by Jalonan. Drilly Billy is crazy. Okay, so Turbo Twirly is now Drilly Billy.
There is perhaps no location in Natlan that is so out of place as the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort. There is perhaps no location in Natlan that is so out of place as the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort. There is perhaps no location in Natlan that is so out of place as the Easy Breeze.
Okay, so you get the point I'm making, right? Let me rewind this part back as well, because there's something else being said here that she says.
It's easy to see why, though, because it's the same reasons that I didn't like Natlan. The landscapes are fine.
The landscapes are okay, and Natlan being in the same sentence is crazy.
Reacted to it. It's easy to see why, though, because it's the same reasons that I didn't like Natlan. The landscapes are fine.
The landscapes are fine. When I'm looking at this, I actually think the exploration of Natlan and the landscapes of Natlan were phenomenal. I think they were the best. I think they were really well done. It was so colorful. It was so unique. It was very different. It was big. There was so much content in Natlan. I think it was flawless. I think it was phenomenal. But also, sorry, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to come up with thoughts, and I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to come back. Part of the other point as well, Natlan is disconnected. At the beginning, before we do the Archon quest of Natlan, Natlan is disconnected from the other nations of Teyvat. The only thing that we knew about Natlan was that the people of Natlan didn't leave. So is it really a surprise that they're quite technologically advanced? Is it really that much of a surprise? Instead of going off to other nations to advance technology, they just stayed and did it there. It kind of makes sense that they have their own technology because nobody left.
The character's access to modern technology and concepts like motorcycles, flying guns, rollerblades, and DJ set.
Mind you, all 3 of those are built by one person. We know for a fact that Chaska's gun was built by Jalonan. We know that her DJ set was built by Jalonan. Same with her rollerblades. Same with the motorbike. It was all made by one person.
Natlan made a point to set up an aesthetic style for Natlanese technology, like that within the ancient Sacred Mountain area, but then they only used it in that area.
Well, yeah, because it was from that area and it was ancient. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, no? Have I listened to that wrong?
Natlan made a point to set up an aesthetic style for Natlanese technology, like that within the ancient Sacred Mountain area, but then they only used it in that area.
Also, Natlan didn't set that up from 6.0. The ancient Sacred Mountain area didn't come out until the release of Veressa. That was 6.4. That was well after the Archon quest. What do you mean it set up an aesthetic?
If Mawika's motorcycle or Shilonen's DJ set looked anything like this, and not like sleek, modern variation.
But that's different. This is ancient technology. Of course it looks different. What are we on about? I'm gonna swing round to my point here that Jalonen's DJ DJ says, and Mawika's bike were both made by Jalonen. This is ancient technology. Of course it looks different. If the ancient tech looks like that, then of course the more current stuff is going to look better. Exactly, it's advancements. This is hundreds and hundreds of years old. Why would their modern tech look anything like ancient tech? Exactly, thank you very much.
And not like sleek, modern variations.
Yeah, sleek, modern, ancient technology, sleek, modern. What are we on about? Sorry, I'm getting angry. I need to calm down.
Modern variations of those objects, maybe they wouldn't have felt so out of place. And another problem with the tech is that no one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all.
Again,
I get the point.
BDSM latex gimp suit motorcycle rider.
The approach suddenly changes. I mean, Sumeria alone pulls inspiration from India, Egypt, Persia, Mesopotamia, Iraq, the Middle East, North.
Yeah, maybe because these countries are near each other. That's why Nigeria was wrong about this take entirely. Because if you literally search up, okay, what is Sumeria based off of? Sumero-Indian is a cultural synthesis of South Asia, ancient India, the Middle East, and North Africa, ancient Egypt. Brother, do we understand how nonsensical this is for him to complain about this? At least from Nigeria perspective. But we're going to see what St. Tonta's dumbass says.
North America.
Sumeru takes from North America? I'm not going to lie. Putting North America and Iran next to each other is kind of crazy.
All within a single nation. And then Natla brings together inspiration from Mesoamerica, South America, West Africa, East Africa, Oceania, and Polynesia. Again, all within one single nation. And that's why
because all those nations are on literally settled on the Ring of Fire in real life. All those niggas of all those nations, literally their homes are literally on the line of the Ring of Fire. That's the reason why it's even mashed up. And for the nation that's supposed to represent, you know, fire as the pyro element, it makes fucking sense why it is that they're mashed together. Duh, it's not hard to see that line of logic.
To ask the obvious question, why? Why is it that these are the only regions where so many distinct cultures are compressed into one nation?
Where so many distinct cultures are pressed into one nation, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's because these are some of the most easy. I feel like the topics are a little bit more sensitive. That's why. You'll notice that the only places that have their own regions are considered like, you can't be racist towards, like you're not, like you can't be racist to white or Asian people. That's like,
oh my God, who is out here saying that? Who in their mama, who in their right mind is out here talking like that? That you can't be racist towards white and Asian people? Who is saying that? The answer is nobody is. What's really being said is that racism and prejudice happens to people of all skin tones. It is not something solely unique to black people in America. It happens in other places of the world. That is what is being said.
Let's just be real in 2026. If a white or Asian person complains about someone being racist to them, nobody gives a fuck. Because they're like, oh, they automatically assume white and Asian people have, like, better lives because they're white or Asian. Let's not mince words. That's how it is. Asians are basically, like, white people in terms of, like, the whole, like, you know, status and stuff like that. And so clearly you can see the nations that are considered, like, not offendable. You can't be racist to white or Asian people. Those are the ones that get turned into whole fleshed out things in this game. Can't be racist to Germans, so that's why we made Mondstadt. Can't be racist to French people, so that's why we made Fontaine. Can't be racist to Russians, so that's why we made Cesnaya. Right? Can't be racist to China, that's why we made Liwei. Can't be racist to Japan, that's why we made...
So he's insinuating that the reason why Hoyoverse made Natlan and Sumeru was so that people can be racist towards the people of these cultures, and not just the people in real life, but to the playable characters from the very game itself, so that people can make fun of the culture that these two nations are based off of. That's basically what he's just saying right now.
Inazuma. Does that make more sense? The countries that, like, cannot be offended as much because you, like, can't really be racist to them are the ones that...
That's stupid. You can't be racist towards them. That's fucking ignorant as shit. Yes, you can.
End up getting made into their own regions. And I simply view this from the perspective of, that's how you have the least controversy surrounding your game. Is that fair?
That sounds like stupid, retarded logic.
Is that like a logical approach that pretty much just like makes sense? Because like, bro, let's be real here. If you're gonna make a region surrounding the Middle East, people are gonna be asking where are all the explosions and stuff, and that's probably not a topic that you.
No one in their good faith right mind is going to sit there and ask that in their fucking anime fantasy world game of where the explosions are at. No one's gonna ask that. Unless it's like a game like Call of Duty, for crying out loud. Outside of that, no one's gonna sit there and ask that about fucking Genshin Impact when it came down to Sumeru. Nobody even asked that or even said such shit when the game came out. Hold up, not when the game came out, but when Sumeru was announced. People in mass were excited for Sumeru because not only were we getting a whole big ass new region, but we were getting a new element on top of that that would change the meta of the game. What are you talking about? What in the hell is this retarded ass nonsense I'm hearing?
That you want to get into in your game, right?
Even more so, why is it that despite drawing inspiration from regions whose population are overwhelmingly...
I'm just being real with you. I'm just being real with you, bro. It's like someone, I mean, where's the child hunger? You get what I mean? Like, you don't want that.
Bro, stories like child hunger is also in Genshin Impact game as well. This fool is acting like serious IRL topics are not touched on in Genshin Impact when they are. Literally a topic about prejudice and racism is talked about in Genshin Impact. In Fontaine, there was a story of, guess what? Sex trafficking of children and the abduction of young women. In Inkonomina, it was literally a whole story dedicated to these children being sacrificed for this for this fucking sun device in Inkonomina, and they were all being set up to do that because other people wanted them to die for their sake, and they used it for political power and shit like that. Like what? Genshin Impact has always told stories with dark themes in it. Themes of suicide, themes of like, oh, someone like experiencing genocide of their entire planet, aka Skirk. Like, what are you talking about? Again, this nigga's a LARPer. He doesn't play Genshin Impact, nor does he pay attention to the story.
The overwhelming majority of playable characters are still fair-skinned. I mean, saying the quiet part out loud, every single one of us understand the...
Where are the cartels? You know what I mean? It's like how somebody could say, where's the Yakuza?
Literally, he's sitting here saying this like we didn't see animal traffickers in fucking Natland, which is a thing, by the way. In Natland, there's animal traffickers. That's a thing. If you go running around Natland, you find animal traffickers literally capturing saurians to try to sell them outside of Natland. What is this fool talking about? Shoot, let me think. I'm pretty sure we even had a story related to like drug dealers in the game as well. Oh, that's right. It was Fontaine yet again with the whole thing related to, what was it called? That diluted primordial seawater shit. What did they call it again? Hold up. Let me search this up on my phone. Fontaine drug plot. Okay, maybe I should be more specific. Genshin Fontaine drug plot. Oh, it was called Synth. That diluted fucking, primordial seawater that had water mixed in, or normal water mixed in with it, that would turn into a drug. And literally, Marcel, underneath the name of the alias Vache, sold those drugs, that drug, all across Fontaine to make his fucking money. Literally. Like, this fool is so stupid.
Yeah, in Inazuma. And it's like, well, Raiden Shogun kind of is the Yakuza. So it's like, wait, oh, right.
realities of the gacha markets. Most of
Raiden
us
Shogun isn't the Yakuza. She's the fucking emperor of the nation.
don't go into these games expecting perfect cultural representation, especially in Genshin Impact. I mean, I certainly don't. And if you do, well, it is a matter of time before you learn. Now,
I'm gonna say this right now. Nigerian perspective take on talking about some, oh, the characters from fucking Sumeru and Natlan are just all fair skinned. There is no brown. And then ignoring the fact that people from these cultures are both of brown skin and fair skin. So why the fuck would they even bitch about the fact that, oh, why didn't I see more brown skin individuals that look like me, when the thing that they care about more than skin color representation is the representation of their fucking culture? Make that fucking make sense. And then when it comes down to Natlan, literally there is a even split of brown and fair brown skin or just melanated skin compared to fair skin characters in the game. Literally, it is a 7-to-6 ratio. 7 fair skin characters, 6 melanated characters. It's easy to prove this because I know I gotta show examples, but I'm gonna show this. Genshin Natlan characters. Let's search. So this is the list of all of them. Yep, this is all of them. Until we get new Natlan characters and new Sumeru characters moving forward in the game. Because, you know, they always give us, like, new characters who belong to, like, past regions here and there. Right? So let's count this up. From fair skin to brown or melanated skin. Right? Let's check it. Chaska, Citlali, Kinich, Mavuika, Auroran, Verissa. Oh, I said 7-to-6. Never mind, I was wrong. It was 6-to-5. So, as I just counted all the characters from Natlan that are fair-skinned. Let's count all the brown-skinned or melanated-skinned individuals. Ian-san, Ifa, Kachina, Mulani, Shalonin. Wait, hold up. Let me recount that one more time. Ian-san, Ifa, Kachina, Mulani, Shalonin. Yeah, that's 5. So, it is a 6-to-5 ratio. Yeah, 6-to-5 ratio of characters who are fair skinned and characters who are brown skinned. But I'm going to count it a third time just to be sure. Just to be ultra sure. Just to further emphasize just how close it is that these characters are the representation of the characters that we got out of Natlan. So let's count again. Chaska, Citlali, Kanich, Mavuika, Auroran, Verissa. 6, Iansan, Ifa, Kachina, Mulani, Shalonin. 5. It's a 6-to-5 ratio of fair to brown or melanated skin. Literally. Tell me what was the inaccurate representation of these characters again? Of these cultures? Please tell me.
Bringing it back to the Candy Box video, I genuinely find it jarring that someone could be labeled racist for pointing out something that is, at the very least in this instance, objectively observable. Here's what she had to say, not even about Natlan, but rather its Archon, Mavuika.
Let's listen to this.
Now think about Mavuika in the same way.
Again, this nigga Nigerian perspective was wrong with using Mavuika as the example because no one was calling her racist over Mavuika.
With regards to her divine ideal, which is war. How does she represent war? Well, she's fighting a war against the abyss, like everybody.
War is represented as a conflict that a character has with anything. Hu Tao's war is with modernism. Bennett's war is with fate. You see what I'm saying? Mavuika's war is with what? Having to continue to deal with the fact that her people will have to constantly suffer through this bullshit over and over again until it finally gets put to an end.
Everybody else into that.
Now, let me show you how she embodies war.
And also, she embodies unity as well. Again, this LARPer did not play the story at all to know what the fuck Mavuika represents as the god of war. At least, what it relates to her character personally. And also, a dumb take is going to be said about God of War by these two cornballs, so wait for it.
Than other nations, but still, what happens when the war ends, which it does at the end of the Archon quest? It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac.
I'm going to pull up another consecrator while I got the chance to further prove this point of why this woman is wrong. Let's go back in time, shall we? Oh, hold up. I gotta search for a specific reaction. Please pop up as alive. Ah, shit, it doesn't pop up as alive. Pop up as a watched. Hopefully it pops up as watched. Because I'm looking for one particular person. Ah, here we go. I'm looking for that follow-up video. Where's her follow-up? Shit, I gotta click on her channel. Excuse me that I'm mentioning this shit again, but I have to further illustrate this point that I'm making.
Video that she did think that Linnea was autistic. In fact, she seemed to hope that she was. I just don't understand like where she's getting this logic like from, right? Like it feels like she is filling in the blanks herself in order to make herself not feel as bad as she should for that awful take.
And they could have just had her be fascinated with the Melusines without doing stuff like that.
Right? This is kind of weird. I'm just, I don't think she means for anything to come off like this, but it is kind of coming off like, yeah. Hi, AQ. What's up? We are currently watching this video that got some buzz. In the quite gentle about this, but yeah, there's a lot of issues I have with this video. You think this comes from cinema where God of War seems to get off on chaos? Yeah, there's a different God for chaos in various like things too, right? So I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Mawika as an Archon, which is why I still don't have her. But like, I don't think these complaints make sense.
This is why I
meant to ask people to have a cup of tea instead of fights a movie. Well, but in a way that still makes her a decent ruler, which I think is not a bad thing. Like, which does she want her to be a bad ruler? Like,
personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other gladiator style for her own entertainment. And then,
okay, but that's just your personal. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just your personal headcanon. Like, that's having like an expectation and being mad that it didn't like. She says Mawika is not a god with the idea of war because she doesn't fight the rest. Yeah, apparently Mawika isn't bloodthirsty enough. I don't think you need to be. Like, okay, even if we, okay, again, looking at how gods of war, historically speaking, tend to be portrayed, many of them are not actually portrayed as just being bloodthirsty. Many of them are portrayed as being strategic, and good, like competent generals or leaders, right?
Which is true. Maybe I'm looking for another person that mentioned it. I may need to go through my history to find what I'm looking for a particular individual who commented on it. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. But for the love of me, I can't find what I'm looking for. Crazy enough as it is. Maybe she talked about it.
well, she's fighting a war against the
develop, and I do think that I wish they gave her more. I agree with this. This is a sentiment I do agree with.
otherwise. Now think about Mawika in the same way, with regards to her divine ideal, which is war. How does she represent war? Well, she's fighting a war against the Abyss, like everybody else in Teyvat. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other nations, but still, what happens when the war ends? Which it does at the end of the Archon quest. It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac. At most, she's just kind of thoughtless and reckless in her actions.
Thoughtless and reckless for Mawika is crazy. Confidence does not equate to recklessness. Just because she's confident in her plan and her ideas doesn't mean that she's reckless.
Do you see how war doesn't really work as a divine ideal, and least of all with Mawika as its representative?
Because she isn't the fucking Archon of War, she's a human that ascended to the title. That's another thing you have to understand.
Also, it's a nation of war made up of 6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them.
Yes! Well done! I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice and respectful, but I'm really struggling.
And yet there's absolutely no conflict between them. It really just doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense if you play the game.
This is why I personally always thought it would be cool.
Who video was
Obviously,
it?
that's the normal human response to cuteness. And some people are
I think it was this one. Maybe.
normal person, but the professional athlete who does a lot of running and training, which balances it out.
Can we talk about how her trailer was just this cringe-ass music video where all of the nation heroes are playing instruments in a band? Oh my god.
I do agree with the trailer. It was pretty cringe. I had to pause it.
And it's not like any of the other characters do anything to move the plot forward.
No, that's not this video either. Shit, which video was it? For the life of me, I can't remember which video it was where someone dug deep into this. Oh shit, I clicked on it.
Just conquest, a culture of conquest. Are kind of tied together. Farina being justice, she suffers immense injustice. And that's the ideal of war here, is to keep fighting and never give up your people. Ah! The Buckanowie that we got. So I am salty. I did a bit too early. So
In the past, yeah, fantastical. This region to be pretty lacking too. Will present a good idea of from her people, all for the sake of keeping Ina's practice hundreds of years of meditation and uses undying. Because I think
okay, I do agree with that. I really think that her story quest should have been part of like an arc.
Compelling character.
Because her opening was actually
Hold up, we going to my week or not?
Human-ish.
Hey.
That. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other. Well, she's fighting a war against the Abyss, like everybody else in Teyvat. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other nations, but still, what happens when the war ends? Which it does at the end of the Archon quest. It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac. At most.
What do you mean? She hates war. Of course she hates war. Her ideal. Fuck. Okay, her ideal is not that she loves war and that she's supposed to be a tyrant. This is true for every. This is true for every war god and myth. Mawika fights to end war because she knows it causes needless suffering. That's the reason why she has the tribes work together, because they're all fighting to save their homeland. That's the ideal of war here, is to keep fighting and never give up your people.
AKA the war against destruction. Or colonization of the Abyss. You know, the Abyss colonizing that land and destroying it. Oh, I think it may have been that small video. That one that's got 12 minutes long. I think it's this one, actually, that I was looking for. Hold up. I think this may have been them.
Area with a dance-off stage.
What's wrong with that?
Enough how immersion-breaking it is, too. Why I personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other, gladiator style, for her.
What the hell do you want out of this game?
Her nation is at war with the Abyss, and she's like, well, best thing I can do for you guys now is go to sleep for 500 years and hope and pray that the heroes I need will appear to me when I need them. What? That is crazy of you. And
what is a human supposed to do?
Bad for her for doing this. The game, instead of pointing out how terrible and risky this plan is.
No, I don't think it was these people's. Man, it was one of these content creators I saw give a good pushback on that point. But you know what? I guess I'm gonna just keep it to myself on what my pushback is. Obviously, Mawika's war that she deals with, relate to her character, is against the destruction of her nation. That's the war that she deals with. The destruction of her culture, destruction of her people, destruction of her nation. That is what her war is against.
At most, she's just kind of thoughtless and reckless in her actions. Do you see how war doesn't really work as a divine ideal, and least of all with Mawika as its representative? Also, it's a nation of war made up of 6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them.
This is more of a critical piece of Natland being just the worst region ever made in any game ever.
Do you see how these people want Natland to be something that the game never advertised it was going to be when it comes down to the fighting between the tribes or whatever? And what's crazy is there was in-depth fighting between the tribes in the past. That's the crazy thing. That was a thing in Natland's culture, or at least in the past. But that stopped being a thing as time went on because they know they had to come together to fight against the Abyss. Bro, I know I came across a video touching on this shit. I know I did. Bro, I feel like I may have to first fly through my own fucking history on my channel to find what the fuck I'm looking for. Because I saw this video literally probably not that long ago. Goodness gracious. Anyway, let's keep going.
Like truly, I think even today, Genshin players will tell you Natlan was bad.
It really just doesn't make any sense. This is
Natlan wasn't the best, but it wasn't something ultra egregious.
why I personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other.
They already did that. It's called Inazuma. And like, there's a
Literally had the fucking gladiatorial arena in Natlan where they fought against each other for the sake of choosing who was going to go to fight in the against the Abyss via the Night Warden Wars.
There's a lot to be said that they made Inazuma a dictatorship, especially considering the history of Japan. Like, that's how, like, now that I think about it, yeah, no, the Japanese could have really gotten offended from Inazuma.
But why would they get offended about something that's historically accurate?
Kind of like instituted a totalitarian government that, like, is kind of like, oh, that doesn't seem like good in history, right? But you can't be racist to Asian people. So it's okay.
No one said that you couldn't be racist to Asian people. Oh. No one said that you can't be. You obviously can, but it's something just not okay to do. It's not acceptable.
If you put in stuff that could be culturally insensitive as long as it's a white or Asian country. Do you get it? So in a lot of ways, it could have been them playing Natlan really safe because they were scared of people getting offended. Oh my god, you're making the tribals fight each other.
Or, you know, you know what? Let me backtrack. He may be right on this point that he's saying right now. Because a lot of people's reaction to when she said this part in the video does align with what he's talking about. Because it's the stereotypical, oh, look at these savages, or quote unquote savages, sitting here fighting each other to the death, as if the Western world at the time wasn't also doing that to each other when they were fighting, when nations were fighting each other, especially parts of the UK.
Fight each other. That's so insensitive. Think about that. You're making the tribal people who bang sticks against rocks fight each other like cavemen. Oh my god, do you see what I mean?
Gladiator style for her own entertainment, and then maybe we would have a better rebellion storyline.
Not a good look, right?
Inazuma with an Archon.
I think the outrage surrounding Mavrika.
That's a viewpoint that I would have had. She's spitting, but I don't think Hoyo could have done it because then Hoyo would have been called out for racism. It's like a catch-22. They're racist for not doing these things, but if they did them, people would 100% call them racist. Like, the optics of a bunch of, like, the white Pyro Archon is like a villain that's like making these tribalist people like fight against each other in arenas. Like, that would be bad, bro. Like, this white Archon is making all the darker-skinned people fight in arenas against each other for her own entertainment. That's bad, bro. You can't do that. That's not good.
With respect
You could do that, but people would be disingenuously framing it as if it was something racist.
This particular point is extremely performative because she is not wrong. I mean, right now, I don't think it is controversial at all
I don't think she's wrong, but I'm listing the alternative. Like, I guess this all works if Mavuika's not white.
to say that Mavrika is possibly the most boring Archon in Genshin Impact.
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, my storyline would work as long as Mavuika's not white. But the second she turns white, it gets weird.
And the reason for this all comes down to one thing that most of us
It only gets weird because you're making it weird.
already understand about her. She is too perfect. I mean, she's righteous enough to completely despise war, despite literally being the god of war.
That doesn't mean anything because we have characters who despise war as well. We literally had Nahida mention and talk about the Archon War and about how unnecessary that war was, and guess what? She was white as well, aka showing that Mavuika ain't the only one who despises war. And on top of that, showing that another god from another culture who's not even the god of war despises war. This idea that a god of war cannot despise war is stupid, and it's very narrow-minded on what a god of war is, or a god that says that war is a necessity when evil is coming at your doorstep to eradicate the innocent, aka it's mentioned in the Bible.
She's farsighted enough to make a plan 500 years in advance.
She's a Mary Sue that nobody gives a fuck about. That's why she's one of the most boring, uninspired characters ever like made, and that's why she's one of the probably the least popular Archon.
And somehow have it play out almost exactly as intended, with little to no course correction along the way. She's an exceptional leader. She learns incredibly quickly. She adapts to every situation.
AKA the usual stuff that we see from gods of war, literally, if you do any type of research, which Nigerian Perspective doesn't do for this video, which is why it sounds like he's talking out of his ass on this point. God of war mythologies. God of War. I should have said Gods of War. War. Symbols. Or better yet, what do Gods of War symbolize? Is what the word I should have typed. Gods of War, what they symbolize: brutality, chaos, strategy, and order, national and cultural protection, bravery, heroism, justice, victory, death, sacrifice. Does those things not exist within Mavuka's character or nah? As a god of war, the answer is yes, it does.
She always seems to be the smartest person in the room, and really feels like she's genuinely out of her depth. And I think what is most disappointing about Mavuka is that I genuinely don't believe this was the character the game originally intended to build. In fact, there's this
he's about to be absolutely wrong on this point. Just to be clear about what the game intended for Mavuka to be, when we had no intention of what she was going to be, because there has been multiple power archons. Mavuka is not the first and last power archon.
Single line from another archon that to me perfectly captures what Mavuka was supposed to be.
The Pyro Archon is a wayward warmongering wretch, and the Geo Archon is a brutish blundering buffoon.
Both lines said by Venti that are not true. And listen to what else is said. What Venti says.
How do I know? Because this is written in the epic poems of days gone by.
Written in an epic poem of days gone by, aka exaggerations of what the Power Archon and Geo Archon are and how they are as people. So Venti is telling us exaggerations or exaggerated characteristics of these two Archons via poems of days gone by. Nigerian Perspective takes this as factual information by Venti, despite the fact Venti has been known to give misleading information and even lie about things. When you go to Mona's voice line about Venti, as she tries to read his fate or his constellation, he literally obscures it using wind to prevent her from seeing what his fate is. Literally. And Mona is a standard character, so more than likely a lot of people already got that character on their account already. So y'all should know this. So again, here's another instance, just like Candy Bug, and St. Tones is more likely going to agree with this dude because he doesn't play the fucking game and he LARPs, that, oh, because the character said this in their voice line, therefore it's true. Despite the fact the game gives us contradicting information to what this character said in their voice line.
A wayward, warmongering wretch. Now, that is an interesting way to describe an Archon. And ironically,
it would have been fun because, like, bro, the Sarisa just looks like she's gonna be your girlfriend. Sorry.
No proof to back that up. Oh, hold up. Let me put my volume back on.
Sarisa just looks like she's gonna be your girlfriend again, just like all the other characters, bro.
I think that is exactly the kind of characterization.
There's no proof of that because we've seen that not every female character that comes across the Traveler is their fucking girlfriend. That is a very rare minority of female characters, if not only one of them in the entire fucking game, which you're talking about is Wuthering Waves.
That would have made both Mavuka and Natlan make far more sense. I mean, imagine an impulsive, brash, almost unnerving Archon who genuinely loves battle.
AKA fan fiction versus the reality of the character that, guess what, we were given versus this fan fiction that you thought the character was going to be based off one voice line of one character who is known to exaggerate and lie.
Archon who actually embodies the ideal she represents, war. I mean,
she does embody war, as I showed earlier. Gods of War embody many things, and it's not just brutality and, you know, loving to fight for the love of the game. As shown with this list here. See it? You see it? Read it earlier.
It was so easy to, like, actually make, like, a fun, like, bro, like, they could have just put in Camellia. You could have just ported over Camellia, and that would have been kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, but that's not what they were going for Mavuka as the god of war. That wasn't the story they were telling, nor did they promise that was the story that they were telling.
You make a Camellia-type character in Genshin to make her the Archon of War, that'd be kind of fucking nuts. It was just that easy.
The Archon is allowed to meaningfully express the ideals they stand for.
Yeah, the stereotypical iteration of the God of War being this battle-crazed brute, instead of showing us the other side of what a God of War could be, because of what they've been shown to be symbolized in real-life historical culture, which are strategic individuals who represent strategy, order, those of them who represent national and cultural protection, aka Mavuika, bravery and heroism, aka Mavuika, justice and victory, Mavuika, death and sacrifice, again, Mavuika. Do you see what I'm saying? Mavuika literally represents the latter half of this entire fucking list, with the exception of brutality and chaos. Literally, she represents the bottom half of this list.
So why is the God of War the one who seems furthest removed from hers? Going for the Wilds,
or like Lupa, who fucking cares, right? Glory.
I don't think an Archon like that would have solved so many issues people had with Natlan as a whole. I mean, this is supposed to be the nation of war. Yes, one tribe is primarily known for surfing, another is known for dancing. And while individual,
what's crazy is Lupa, she doesn't fight for war because she like loves the squabble fest. That's not the reason why she fights. Now, does she enjoy fighting? Yeah, sure, but that's not the sole reason for why she fights. We know that that's not to be the truth. So to even mention Lupa as if she represents a goddess of war, what? Same thing goes for Augusta. Augusta isn't like labeled as this goddess of war in Wuwa because she loves to squabble. Like, no, she doesn't squabble for that reason. It's way beyond that. It's way more personal than that. And that goes for both Lupa and Augusta. What are you talking about?
So how do they dance?
individually, there is nothing wrong with these ideas. When you step back and look at the nation as a whole, it just doesn't fit the identity that Genshin itself spent years building up. That's it.
AKA, there was no identity that Genshin spent years building up when it came down to Natlan. The only identity that Genshin built up related to Natlan was the Marjavari and how it was a barren, fiery wasteland. That's the only thing that Genshin built up in relation to Natlan. And anything outside of the Marjavari was built up, so let me make that clear as well, because I was incorrect when I said that earlier. But the builder that we saw was NPCs and little tabloids from Fontaine that mentioned Natlan when it comes down to like the hot springs or someone going to Natlan and experiencing it for the first time. And guess what? It did not depict it as, or was described as, a nation of like, oh my goodness, it's destruction and death everywhere. There's bodies all across the place. Don't go to Natlan type shit. Like, no, there was no such thing.
There's a disconnect between what Natlan...
Stop. I'm just trying to get some exercise. How would you just get right the fuck off my back, bro?
Was sold towards us and what it ultimately became. And I think the major reason for that is Mariga. And the exact same thing can be said for the points made about Sumeru, specifically the Nefer story. Now, before anyone pretends to misunderstand what is being said here, let us use a little common sense. No one is saying that fair-skinned people can't experience racism.
Guys, let me give you a good analogy. An Asian man walks into Silicon Valley, Palo Alto, right next to the Facebook headquarters, and says that he got called racist things. I would not believe him, because Palo Alto, that area, is filled with just Asian people, Asian and Indian people. There is no way you're experiencing racism over there as an...
Oh my God. Do you... oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This shit is crazy. Brother, Asians are racist to each other, but it ain't got nothing to do with their skin tone. It's entirely due with their culture as well. Do you think Korea don't have an issue with Japan? Do you think China gets along nicely with Japan as well, and Korea on top of that? Like, no. If it was such immaculate peace among Asian people, why the fuck do we see people who are from Korea, China, and Japan, and we see instances of them not getting along and being really nasty towards each other? What? Excuse you? That's like saying, well, because this person who's from the Middle East is walking around in a place that are predominantly a place that is predominantly, populated by people who are also from the Middle East, gets called a racist slur, you're not going to believe them because they are in this area that's predominantly filled with these people. Therefore, whatever accusation of racism that person makes is just invalid. It's stupid, because in the Middle East, they experience their own form of racism and prejudice that's not AKA like how America's racism is, which is purely based on skin tone. Whereas the Middle East and even Asian countries, guess what? Their racism is purely related to culture, where you are from, and that's it. And even the nation you're from, your culture, and the way you look, but not really because of your skin tone, but more so because of your facial structure and your body structure and shit like that. Because I found that out thanks to a comment underneath one of my own reaction videos talking about it. So it's like saying this, saying this shit out of his mouth is so fucking retarded.
As an Asian person, in a similar vein, I wouldn't really expect this unit to experience racism, because that's just the thing, right?
AKA, because you don't know nothing about the Middle East and the real life shit there when it comes down to racism and prejudice that they experience that's unique to them as a people versus America's racism. Again, this dude, Saint Totas, just like Nigerian Perspective and Candy Bug, are viewing racism from the American lens.
Hoyo decided to make all these nations only the white or Asian nations because they don't really experience the racism, right? It truly, you're allowed to be edgy with them and nobody cares. But then they try to design this character as being discriminated against because she's not dark. It's a slightly unbelievable storyline because
it's an unbelievable storyline. Can you believe that this nigga just said that shit? It's an unbelievable storyline that a Egyptian designed a character where, guess what again? People of Egypt have what type of skin tones? Let's rewind back on my searches on Google right quick, shall we? Let's keep going. What Sumeru is based off of, North Africa, ancient Egypt. So people of fair skin, by his logic, cannot experience racism. That's basically what he's saying. Which is the same thing Candy Bug alluded to. Oh my gosh.
Because when have you heard of somebody being called too light, IRL? If it's unbelievable in...
Of course you're going to believe it's unbelievable because of where you live at. Go check out that Middle East and go ask them fair-skinned niggas that question. If they've ever experienced racism for being called too fair-skinned or because of what culture or religion they come from. Go ask them niggas that. They didn't get educated properly. Oh my God, I sound like I'm a fucking left-leaning, woke-ass piece of shit. Oh my God, I hate the fact that these niggas got me talking like this. Anyway.
In real life, yes, it's somewhat unbelievable in the game because it's like, why would somebody be criticized for being too light if it's never been done in Genshin before?
Because it was a part of the Sumeru storyline that you didn't play, which was implied and blatantly shown that the people of the desert in Sumeru were treated as less than the people of the rainforest, especially in regards to their intelligence. And people from the desert are both fair-skinned and brown-skinned. Nefer was from the desert. And she was treated just as the same as people from the desert by the academia before Nahida got back in power and started setting shit straight. Again, this nigga LARPs.
And this is the first time it's ever being done, and you haven't even laid down the lore for it.
Of course they can. But
they did lay down the lore for it. It's in Sumeru, dumbass.
Of the world we have always lived in is that racism disproportionately affects people with darker skin.
And then you made Daya dark, and she sucks ass. She's literally the worst character in the game. So like you've already showed in game with the balancing you do for darker skinned characters, they suck dick. Like
that's not true because Sino was a good electro DPS in the game as well. What are you talking about? Ian-san is a great electro plunge, or rather, a Varissa plunge Night Soul team support unit. She's great for that team. Aoife, good character for Swirl. What's another brown skin character we got? I can list some more, but I don't know if people use them anymore for their teams. But we already have a brown skin character that was good for meta. And also, these other brown skin characters can be used for team building and in the meta to be in-game content as of right now. So to act like they all are just trash and terrible in comparison to their white counterparts is stupid. Because we have fair skin characters in the game too that no one uses, or use less just as much as the brown skin characters.
Like Sino's bad, Daya's bad, all the dark skin characters in this.
And not only that, Sino just got buffed, for crying out loud, for the stellar conduct reaction. That means we're going to have characters of brown skin who are of cryo and electro elements being brought into the meta, or being brought back into the meta once stellar conduct goes hardcore, or stellar reactions go hardcore when Naya releases. What the hell is this nigga talking about?
In this game are bad, and now you're gonna tell me the white person is the one experiencing racism in your game, which you made all the dark skin characters bad.
What type of bullshit ass logic is that? Oh, because you made the dark skin characters terrible units in the game, therefore it translates to why in the hell are you telling a story about racism with a fair skin character? What the fuck type of nonsense? That doesn't even correlate together.
That's also what makes it unbelievable because there's not a single meta viable dark skin character.
Bullshit. Supreme immaculate bullshit. Varissa and Ian-san are a match made in heaven for their team. That's not meta viable to you for the plunge damage team for Natlan? What about Shalonin, who was deemed as the equivalent to, guess who? Kazuha. Literally, Shalonen was being compared to Kazuha, the Japanese-inspired male character of fair skin. Shalonen is of melanated skin tone, by the way. Are we going to say that she wasn't meta viable? Excuse you? What? Shall I go on with this list of utter fucking nonsense? Like, what the F are we talking about?
That's just a fact about the game.
Even more so,
It's not a fact. It's incorrect information.
Who's the one with the sword and spear? Fucking Candace, bro. Bro, I've never even seen somebody play this character. Have you ever used this bitch?
He claims that he's never seen anyone play this character. Of course you haven't, because you don't watch people's content of them playing the game with said character. Have you searched this shit up actually on YouTube? Because, you know, doing a bare minimum YouTube search is more than enough. Let's see, actually. Genshin. Candace. Team. A year ago. Oh, look at this. This 4-star team. Candace team actually worked with Electro, Hydro, Animo. Candace is better than you think. Candace free-to-play team, Hyperbloom team versus what other team? Again, just because you don't see big content creators using this character, or some people using this character, does not mean this character does not get used. Or that this character has never been used. Look, the fact that these videos, some of these videos are from a fucking year ago, speaks volumes. Because if she was a character that was never played, that no one used, guess what? No one would be using her. No one would be showing these type of shit off. No one would be using her as a time of song. Oh, DPS Candace in 2026. Wait, this was 4 weeks ago, for crying out loud. Do you see what I'm talking about? What the hell is this fool yapping about?
Deserts, where Nefer grew up in and the story takes place in, is a place that is supposed to represent the setting of darker-skinned people. So if Genshin actually wanted to depict that experience in a meaningful way, wouldn't it have been better to reflect that reality? And yes, I can already imagine the counter-argument. Well, at least Genshin chose to tell this story in the first place.
Nigerian perspective was so fucking disingenuous when he did this shit. Because listen to what he said. Listen to what he said. Listen to it one more time.
Use this bitch.
Deserts, where Nefer grew up in and the story takes place in, is a place that is supposed to represent the setting of darker-skinned people. So
AKA, what he's saying here is, they threw a white character to represent, stand in place as representation for a story about racism and prejudice in a place, aka the desert, where it's predominantly people of brown skin. Or where are the skin tones in the Middle East? Again, pale, ranging from pale to deep brown and black. So what Nigerian Perspective just said here is by far the most ignorant shit a nigga can say. Let's make that clear. There are Egyptians who are of fair skin as well. And they're from the desert, bro. Do you think people... The Nigerian Perspective, again, is coming at it from the American POV. This nigga clearly has not done his research.
if Genshin actually wanted to depict that experience in a meaningful way, wouldn't it have been better to reflect that reality? And yes, I can already imagine the counter-argument. Well, at least Genshin chose to tell this story in the first place. But
bro, why did he sound like a fucking demon? Bro, why did he sound like a Balrog? What the fuck was that? Like, straight up, that voice didn't match what he was trying to do with it. That shit was kind of scary. Yo, you should go voice like a fucking monster in like a children's TV book, bro, or some shit.
My rebuttal is very simple. Sometimes it is better not to tell a story at all than to tell it poorly. It's better not to tackle a sensitive subject than to handle it in a way that feels sanitized, watered down, completely disconnected from the reality it is trying to portray. And really, this is a criticism I think applies to...
It's disconnected from the reality that it's trying to portray. Literally, it portrays the reality of people who live in the Middle East and the shit that they go through when it comes down to racism and prejudice in the Middle East versus that in America.
Genshin more often than it should, whether it is this storyline or what they did with Ian-san, a character they advertised as the face of Natla nearly 6 years ago, only for her to end up being one of the most irrelevant playable characters in the entire nation. I mean,
yeah, they replaced her with a big old booty, big old booty, big old bazooka.
Now, the take about Ian-san not having a lot of story presence and being somewhat irrelevant to the story, valid. I wanted more from her. But what he's framing here is that this brown skin character got treated like trash, and that's what the Hoyoverse does to all their brown skin characters, completely ignoring the fact that Sino and Dia had main center stage roles to play in Sumeru's Archon quest. Disproves his whole take.
Verisa. And Brand Online, I think, has gone with the take. She was saying Hoyo replaced Yansan with Verisa because Hoyo's racist. Well, all you need to do is kind of look at Hoyo's kit designs to know they're not going to make brown characters strong. And so they put in a
If that's the case, why the fuck did they buff Sino for the Stellar Conduct reaction?
Gooner character instead called Verisa. And so it's like, I guess you could go with, yes, she's calling them racist, or it's like they turned the region into a cash grab with porn star characters. And Verisa also is somebody's fetish, by the way. Like, she's like somebody's eating fetish where they like feed a girl until she's like gigantic.
Oh my god. Again, we mentioned this earlier with anime tropes of characters stuffing their face. How is it that when it comes down to female characters, it's fetishistic, but when it comes down to male characters, oh, it's fine? Do you not see the retardedness of it all?
Like she's also a fetish character.
They don't even design her fetish in such a fetishistic manner, either in the game or even in the story of her own, related to why she likes to eat food. It's not even portrayed as fetishistic. No character looks at her in such a, oh man, that's hot that you're stuffing your face type of way. No one's sitting here doing that. Not even in the game.
Like Verisa is a fetish character. We know that.
What exactly am I supposed to appreciate? Whether we're talking about the nation itself or the characters within it, it is hard not to feel like so much of it was half-assed.
Like Verisa is basically a BBW put into Genshin. But like they chose to make they made her as big as they could, without like getting yelled at by the.
AKA they experimented with a different body type for a new model, for a new character model that they never done before. It was their first time ever that they made a female character with a thicker model. And guess what? There were people who loved to see that. Because they were like, finally, Genshin Impact is playing around with body types. Hopefully they start playing around with body types more, just like Zillis does.
By like Dewey or something. Guys, I'm serious. Verisa is like the closest they can get to putting a BBW in Genshin. She literally attacks by slamming on enemies with her weight. Like that is her kit. She uses her body weight to deal damage to people.
Because she's a wrestler? What the fuck are you talking about?
Now, moving on to the final point of controversy in Candy Bug's video, and that has to do with the female characters in Genshin Impact, specifically how they're dressed and how they're written.
They've gotten so fetishized lately, it's crazy. I already showed you a Scoffier.
And honestly, the community's reaction to this part was probably the most confusing thing I saw throughout this entire discussion. Mostly because this is the conversation the Genshin community itself has been having for a long time. I mean, we saw it all the way back when Lauma was introduced. When people argue that the way she was dressed had absolutely nothing to do with her personality or the way she was portrayed.
Which is fine, because guess what? She's based off her real life inspiration, which is a woman or a goddess that was known to be nude and represented fertility. That's why she has thick thighs, thick ass, immaculate body. Good lord. I'm trying to get her pregnant tonight. Anyway, enough of that. You get the point I'm making here. That's the reason why she's designed the way that she is. Candy Bug had an issue with how Versa was designed and how she didn't, have much inspiration to, guess what, the thing that Versa was inspired by, which is like Lucha Libres and how they wrestle and they fight, right? Despite the fact that she did. But when it came down to Llama, that did have that inspiration, literally from top to bottom, she deemed it as, it was still problematic.
That it was simply
she's a gooner character that they're trying to make money off of by having people play with their penises.
Fan service. Or in a more recent example, we saw that same conversation with Sandrone. I mean, people hated the fact that Polonia was removed and replaced with whatever this is.
I guess people wanted to fuck the robot. I don't know.
And even more so, they hated that her outfit was changed from a more traditional, fully covered design into the classic body-revealing female Genshin outfit.
Well, because
body-revealing female outfit, bitch. Her whole outfit is still covering her body. What is being revealed in her outfit? Oh, her legs are more shown? Just like it's literally being just a little bit shown more than in her previous outfit. But the outfit covers her still covers her fucking body. She ain't got no fucking gaps open in her outfit showing off her midriff. Her dress ain't ripped off so you can see her ass. Her arm sleeves ain't gone. Her back ain't gone. She's not wearing a fucking bikini. Talking about some exposed. There's not really much exposed skin going on here.
Because if the Genshin players can't get upskirt shots of their characters, why are they even pulling them, right? So it's like, Koyo probably knew, like, bro, we are straight up, like, this is pay to lose.
And if you want an even more recent example, look at the Shinesnaya trailer. I mean, there was an entire discussion across the community about why the female gods had exposed legs, while the male gods were wearing full trousers.
Bro, they're wearing pantyhose. She's wearing pantyhose in particular. Bro. Thigh-high boots that cover most of the leg with the shorts that still cover their ass. More than likely, they're still warm. And also, these niggas are Fae. You can tell. Look, they all got wings on their back. They are inhuman beings who live in the cold. The Fae have been known to live in cold places like Snezhnaya, my guy. So, them not caring about the cold makes sense. And on top of that, you think Hoyoverse was going to release characters dressed from top to bottom in winter wear, like we haven't seen Jarilo 6, where we see characters dressed in half-ass winter wear, or only like 1 or 2 characters dressed in full winter wear because they actually go explore outside the city because of how cold it is, or they're inside the city dressed half-assed in the most warm casual clothing ever. Do you see this? What about this screams fully clothed for winter for most of these characters? The answer is fucking nothing. Literally, Clara literally walks around barefoot with no shoes on and nothing to cover her legs from the cold. For crying out loud. The only thing she's wearing is a thick 2-layer jacket, or a sweater with a thick jacket on top, or a thick sweater with a jacket on top. That's the only thing she's covering herself from the weather. Outside of that, bro, bare legs exposed, walking around in cold weather. Get the fuck out of here. If you think they were really going to show every female character, and plus, more than likely, these niggas in the background are just NPCs, for crying out loud. Who cares about what the fuck they're dressed in?
Got a goon.
Why the Sarita herself was wearing a miniskirt instead of the kind of long
claiming that the Sarita was wearing a miniskirt. You know what a miniskirt is? A miniskirt is... Actually, let me show you. Shoot, I hope I don't see nothing crazy on here. That's a miniskirt. This nigga Nigerian Perspective really sat here and said that what the Sarita is wearing in this flashback... Watch.
Got a goon.
Why the Sarita herself was wearing...
You see that? That's a dress that she's wearing. That's not a mini skirt. This is a mini skirt. That nigga Nigerian Perspective does not know what the fuck words mean, nor does he know what the fuck a mini skirt is. Also, I fold to mini skirts. I'm sorry. Mini skirt with the thigh high combo kills me. I fold to it immaculately. Anyway, damn, I just told my weakness to all these ladies around here. Anyway, let's continue.
Was wearing a mini skirt instead of the kind of long regal gown. People.
Despite the fact her character design, literally, as they showed what her most modern character design actually looks like, she literally has a full gown on from top to bottom.
Got a goon.
Expect from the ruler of Shinesnaya. These are not new criticisms. The community has been making these arguments for years, and not just about the characters I've mentioned. So why
we got a goon.
Does the criticism suddenly become unacceptable the moment someone outside the community pointed out? And
this wasn't someone from outside the community. This was someone who's clearly from the inside the community.
Becomes unacceptable when a creator with 400k subs says that you're just a grifter. Says that your entire video is just Genshin hate, even though it clearly has a bunch of valid points.
When we move beyond...
No, it doesn't.
Character designs, I start talking about how Genshin writes its female characters. I also think there's a lot...
This section of his video where he talked about how Genshin writes his female characters was the most dishonest point in his whole video, because he shows 3 male characters who have similar... No, he shows 5 male characters, 2 of which have similar traits to each other, and the other 3 who have similar traits to each other. But he doesn't bother to show the female characters or the female equivalent to that as well, just to say the male characters are superior in this regard, because female characters are just written one note. I got a list for y'all. Don't worry.
There's a lot of truth in what Candy Bug is saying. I mean, take Columbina, for example. A character that went from being this mysterious, almost unsettling figure, with
AKA assumptions and theories about her character versus what her character actually is. Let that be clear.
Seemingly limitless potential. 2, in many ways, feeling like this airhead cutie damsel waiting for the traveler to save her.
I think this is the
dishonest framing and characterization about what happened in the story. On top of that
thing, people got uplifted so much by Arlecchino in Fontaine that they thought Hoyoverse actually knew how to write and create female characters. That
this nigga has no idea what the fuck he's talking about when it comes down to the writing of female characters, because again, he LARPs and doesn't play the fucking game.
Already in love with the traveler. And they set expectations.
We have only one character that actually is actively in love with the Traveler by her actions alone, which is Seat Lolly. Every female character does not fucking act like that. That's a lie.
So high with Arlecchino, and they have fallen down to like the fucking below Earth, and now we're in China. We were in Fontaine, by the way. So kind of like the issue is, that's truly just the issue. I think Arlecchino placed expectations so fucking high, then they ruined her character, then they ruined every other character,
No proof that they ruined any of these characters, by the way. He just saying that to fuel any bullshit that many people have said, claiming that these characters have been rewritten to be X thing, when no, they haven't.
They're fucking Harbinger, and now we're kind of at the point where the story of this game literally seems like Aether and his 89 girlfriends.
Biggest lie being pushed, but of course we got to push that lie because, you know, we got to self-project what Withering Waves got going on onto Genshin Impact to claim that this is what's happening in Genshin Impact.
Androni, who initially came across as this detached, calculating inventor, the person that's made all of the Catherines in Genshin Impact.
And it's not even close to what it was in 4. Like, literally, you could tell this game took a big dip in quality the second Wuthering Waves came out. The second...
No, it didn't.
Wuwa came out, you were in, like, Fontaine, like, 4... point whatever. Dude, the quality of this game just fell off a fucking cliff. It's crazy.
This nigga barely plays this game to even know what the quality of the game was.
Feeling like yet another tsundere. Then you have Mavrika, as I already pointed out, whose defining trait seems to be that she...
BDSM, gimsuit, latex, porn star. This is a motorcycle riding gimsuit, BDSM, latex, porn star. Wait, no, this is a great shot to describe that.
Is simply perfect. Or Sitlali, whose personality gradually...
Obsessed with the main character and literally cock blocks them across the world. This bitch is from that land, and she's seen literally cock blocking Aether and Fontaine. No, this is like going from New Zealand to France to like go...
Again, dishonest framing about Seat Lolly's character to claim just by not only Nigerian perspective, but also by St. Tontas about what her character actually is and what she actually does, claiming that her character had been rewritten or just like, oh, she just cock blocks or this and the third, dishonest framing and mischaracterization of this character to say that, oh, this character is an example of the writing of female characters in Genshin has fallen off, while simultaneously only bringing up Arlecchino as if she's the only well-written female character in the game as a whole. Like, we didn't have ones better than her before she came out. Does Hu Tao not count to y'all? What about Skirk? Are we going to talk about Skirk? What about Nefer? What about Lauma, who we just talked about earlier? Nicole? Alice? Are we not mentioning these characters just so we can push the narrative of, oh, this is just a Traveler harem story now? Convenient how they don't bring up those characters that completely go against their claim of this one character out of the entire roster being like, oh, well, because she acts this way towards the Traveler, that means every female character acts this way towards the Traveler. Convenient, right? How he doesn't bring up counter arguments to his own video, which is easy to do because I do that even in my own yapping topics videos, especially my old ones, where I would bring up a counter argument to even my own take and mention it in the video.
Like, go attack your ex at a restaurant.
It gets watered down into little more than the jealous girlfriend archetype. I mean, these are...
And to say that by Nigerian perspective, claiming that her personality had been watered down to just the jealous girlfriend archetype, completely ignores her entire character that we've seen in Natlan and her tribal quest. Let me pull up this clip from this individual right quick. I know this reaction been going on for about an 2 hours and almost 30 minutes, but I have to do this to further illustrate this point to y'all. It's a necessity. I should have labeled it as just videos. Where is this person's video? Okay, I just recently reacted to it. Here it is. Oh, this person may have been the one that talked about my weakest God of War status and whatnot.
I think the way a lot of people approach critiquing Genshin is weird. Now, I want to clarify that this is my personal opinion, subjectivity is implied, and there is no right way to talk about art. More about the game, and at the end of it, I have no idea how they actually feel about it. You're allowed to critique a game you love, but when the critique only explores the surface level elements, leaves out deeper information that ought to be in a critique, it cannot be presented as fact. It's bad criticism. It sucks to fall out of love with something that you were once obsessed with. I empathize with it greatly. I used to play Dead by Daylight for years before quitting. I know what it's like to suffer from the sunk cost fallacy. But that doesn't mean you get to misinterpret things and present it as a fact. At that point, subjectivity is no longer implied, you're saying a false statement. But by pointing this out, I've accepted that there's people who will look at me and say, I just want my yummy Hoyo slop, and I don't care about the quality of the game. Where's my waifu, Hoyo? If you argue like this, I urge you to listen to what is actually being said here, instead of the short-sighted goal of winning an online argument. I don't want to say, just let people enjoy things, because the very obvious counterpoint is, let people hate things, but you don't have to start calling people Hoyo shills anytime.
Oh, here it is. It was over here. It was over here.
See, Lolly only centers her characterization around the Traveler, is ignoring her entire story quest where the game explores her loneliness, her immortality, and how she feels about it. Her actions make a lot more sense if you take the full perspective. You don't need to dwell on this part of the game. It's the image of the guy sticking the branch in the spoke of his bike and falling off the bike. The game isn't pushing it in there for you. You are in control of how you engage with the tertiary aspect of this game. As I say this, though, we face the next problem. The discussion that happens after a defense. The way people talk about this game has reached a point where real discussion is stifled in favor.
But anyway, you heard what he said about C. Lolly, right? Let's play it one more time.
Talk about the positive. If you don't like it, talk about the things you do like. Traveler harem is one very small interpretation. It is not the focus of the game, or even the sole focus of the traveler's relationships with other characters. It isn't even the sole focus of these characters they hate for, quote, being in the traveler harem. Implying someone like Lolly only centers her characterization around the traveler is ignoring her entire story quest where the game explores her loneliness, her immortality, and how she feels about it. Her actions make a lot more sense if you take the full perspective.
Yeah. Which makes sense why she's clingy towards the traveler, the only other person that she knows that has a long lifespan, if not longer than her own lifespan. Because the traveler's like, yo, in 500 years, I'll still be here with you. I'll still be here to talk to you at the end of her fucking tribal quest. That niggas probably more than likely didn't fucking play because they were too lazy to play it or just didn't want to play it because they thought Natlan bad. Anyway.
I mean, these are criticisms that people have had with Genshin females writing for a long time. And what makes them stand out even more is that you don't see the same pattern nearly as often with the male cast. I mean, the male characters tend to have far more distinct personalities. That's very significantly from one another, rather than...
You see how he's saying this right now? He's saying that male characters have distinct personalities despite having similarities between each other. Acting as if we do not see the same shit from female characters in this fucking game. AKA the whole Ice Queen trope that he mentioned in one of his last videos, AKA Nigerian Perspectives videos, right? Literally, do we not count Shinha and Skirk as Ice Queens? Both of them seem rather emotionally detached, but their reasons for why they're emotionally detached are completely different from each other. One is emotionally detached because guess what? She witnessed her entire planet get genocided. Then on top of that, she met a man who trained her in his ways of fighting and combat. And that master of hers told her to fuck you to your emotions, become cold, become cold-hearted, fuck your emotions, only think about strength, this, strength, that. While Shinha became the way that she became was because she is extremely emotional as a baseline. The only reason she comes off as this cold Ice Queen was because of the fact that she had these red ribbons given to her by, guess what, Cloud Retainer to restrain her emotions because she has very high murderous intent. That's the reason why she's being restrained and why her personality comes off as that of an Ice Queen when we first initially meet her, especially when she's cold and distant and silent. Do you not realize that we have, or Nigerian Perspectives, dumbass, doesn't realize that Genshin has made multiple instances of female characters and male characters sharing distinct personalities with each other, but being completely different on a baseline. Some of these characters have direct, character interactions with each other, aka Nefer and Yelan. I just recently did an anecdote between Nefer and Yelan, just recently, probably about an hour, 2 hours ago. These two characters are the same as a baseline, being femdoms, right? But the reasons for why they're doing what they're doing is completely different from each other. They're not the same. But by Nigerian Perspective's idea on this, he thinks that they're both the same blatantly with no differences between each other.
The male characters in this game actually do something. That's the problem. Like the male characters in this game actually...
Wow, this is kind of crazy that we're saying this. As if we don't see the majority of the characters in this game who are women get down in the plot. Why are we acting like women don't do nothing in this fucking game and only men do? That sounds pretty sexist, don't you think?
We have like important roles that like they actually like do stuff in. New Valette, for example, actually does things. Child, for example,
falling into the same
actually.
That's crazy that he's sitting here saying this. Again, who's the leader of Sumeru again? Oh, that's right, that's Nahida, a female. Who's the leader of Natlan again? Oh, that's right, it's Mavwika, a female. Who's the leader of Snezhnaya again? Oh, that's right, the Crowd Archon, the Sarita, aka female. Who's the leader of Inazuma again? Oh wait, that's right, another female, right? What are you talking about? That the men are the only ones that do things and the only ones with important positions in the game. The leader, arguably, of fucking Leeway is Ning Guang, for crying out loud. Hey, woman, what are you talking about, cornball? Oh my god.
Actually does things.
Full of archetypes. And even when
I'm still surprised they haven't made this form playable yet for him. They're so retarded. This dude would single-handedly, if you released this version of Child, he would make billions. How is he not out yet?
Similar archetypes. The game still makes sure to put in that one thing in their character that makes them different and memorable. Like take Low.
Bro, he's like fucking, bro, he's like Metal Gear.
It's so crazy that this nigga really talk about something what makes them fucking notable. Oh my god, bro.
Rising, bro. He's like Raiden.
It makes them different.
Sorry, I forgot how much he aura-farmed Fontaine. Like, this is why I still say Fontaine was like the best in Genshin, because like they were bringing back characters like this, and they were.
And they did the same thing in fucking Nodcry, but you didn't play that shit.
Actually doing stuff.
Memorable. Like take Lohan and Tartaglia for example. Both of them fall into the Battle Seeker arc.
It's so crazy that Nigerian Perspective claims that these two characters right here are more memorable because of their distinct personalities, as if we don't have memorable female characters that had great moments in the story. Like, what in the actual fuck is this take by Nigerian Perspective? I wish I had a more concrete response to this take initially when I reacted to him saying this bullshit, so I can just slap it down to the floor. 'Cause I was stumbling a little bit for the examples I want to provide, but this time no, I got more concrete examples that disprove his whole take. Why are we acting like Skirk don't have memorable moments? What about Shinha? Shinha has one of the coolest memorable moments in the whole game because it happened on a lantern ride. Let's actually pull this up, bro. Genshin Shinha cutscene. Is this not a memorable moment from an Ice Queen character?
All hands, tsunami incoming!
What's that? Wait! Giant wave!
You are a cursed child. Your life brings nothing but disaster to us all. At least if you die, I can bring her back.
The day you learn how to use your strength for the good of others is the day that you can truly be.
Shoot, we even have motherly figures in Genshin Impact. Are we going to literally say that, oh, these motherly figures in Genshin Impact do not have distinct personalities between each other? Oh, but the male characters do, though, right?
Become part of human society.
By the way, this Lantern Rite, when Shinha came out, was one of the best Lantern Rites the game ever pumped out, by the way. Again, female characters don't have memorable moments in comparison to the male characters. Excuse me, oui, nigga. And I don't even speak fucking French. Literally, this is one of the Skirk's most memorable moments right here. Check it. You want to know why this moment is memorable? Watch this. This moment was memorable because one, she tossed Child like he was nothing, and people love that. Two, this moment was memorable was because this was Skirk's first introduction into the game after we heard Child talk about her in his voice lines related to his master, aka Skirk, that he respects and reveres as a warrior. That's why this moment was fucking memorable.
Archetype. They both love the thrill of combat. They both
Yo, you should have just made Child the fucking Archon of War, bro.
possess that mentality of standing before an overwhelming opponent and wanting to overcome them. But despite those similarities, absolutely no one who plays this game would say that these two characters are
Make Child the fucking God of War, knowing damn well this dude came out back in version 1. What sense is there to make him the God of War now? He would lose that fight anyway.
the same, because there's an important distinction. Tartaglia's love for battle is goal-oriented. This is a character that seeks out powerful opponents because he wants to prove to himself more than anyone else that he can stand toe-to-toe with the very best. And Lohan, on the other hand, is portrayed as someone who simply revels in battle itself. There's a far more reckless, almost sadistic enjoyment in the act of fighting. There is that easily noticeable difference between these two characters. I mean, even though they share the same foundation, you can very easily have one as your favorite over the other. And the same applies to so many other characters in Genshin Impact. I mean,
yeah, and he says that only for male characters though, but he don't say that for female characters. That's why he doesn't bring female characters as an example.
Take Zhongli, Neuvillette, and Capitano.
See how he deliberately chooses male characters and don't talk about any of the female characters? Conveniently interesting, right? To prove his point that only the male characters have this going on instead of the female characters. aka disingenuous framing.
Fuck, I forgot about Ryodsley. That guy runs the prison. This guy runs Fontaine. That guy's dead, and this guy doesn't do anything. Or he's like supposed to do something, but he never does anything. Because, dude, John Lee seems like the laziest motherfucker ever. But he's like supposed to do something later.
For instance, all three are protectors. All three are guardians who are willing to go above and beyond for the nations they choose to defend.
Guess what? We had a female protector in the sense of, what was her name? A champion duelist known as Chlorinde. Does she not count? Conveniently, we're not bringing her up, right?
But once again, the similarities only exist in the surface. Zhongli is a passive.
What about Chevreuse, who is also a protector of Fontaine? In the same vein as Chlorinde. Are we not going to mention her?
Sector. He believes in stepping back.
So remember what I said? He doesn't do anything. Guys, I'm not LARPing. Like, his character design is that he doesn't do anything. Like, it's that he did so much in the past, he doesn't need to do anything because he did so much work.
For the younger generation to take the lead while positioning himself as the final line of defense should everything else fail. Neuvillette is the complete opposite, an active protector, the one standing at the front, personally involving himself in affairs of Fontaine and carrying the weight of the people on his shoulders. And then there is Capitano, who is simply nuanced. I mean, this is a character willing to sacrifice his own life for the nation he swore to protect. But at the very same time, he's also—
I don't understand why in the fuck he got the fucking background showing leeway instead of Natlan.
So a hypocrite. I mean, for all the honor, integrity, the righteousness that he's believed to have in doing that, he still willingly serves the Fatui, an organization responsible for bringing suffering to countless other nations. He's a man who desperately wants to protect his own homeland from evil, yet
they already wiped. They're fucking the Fatui.
They're fighting. They're trying to free the world of being controlled by these fake gods that are in Celestia. That's what they're doing. What they're doing, and the atrocities committed by the Fatui literally is dependent on, guess what? Whoever is the harbinger in control of those group of Fatui members or agents. They're literally just told to go get the Gnosis, nothing more, nothing less. They're not told go destabilize an entire nation to get the Gnosis. That's the choice of the Fatui harbingers themselves on whether or not they wish to do that. They literally can just go and ask for the Gnosis. They could have literally just done it off the rip, because a lot of the Archons, as we saw in game, do not care for the Gnosis anymore, or they stopped caring for these Gnosis a long time ago because they know what the real deal is behind these Gnosis, more than likely. Raiden Shogun didn't need her Gnosis anymore because she was powerful without it, so she tossed it and gave it away, or rather Yae Miko did for her. Nahida gave up her Gnosis in exchange for information that Dottore provided related to the False Sky and what Irminsul was hiding. Mavwiga gave up hers to the Traveler and the Nahida so that they can use it to destroy Irminsul to prevent the Doctor from bringing more damage to the rest of the world beyond Sumeru. Neuvillette himself gave up the Hydro Gnosis because he was warned by Skirk that it would bring disaster to Fontaine if it's left there, and thus he gave it up. Geo and Anemo Archons gave up allowed the Fatui to take their Gnosis because Neuvillette, in the case of Zhongli, it was because of a deal he made with the Sarita, aka colluding with the quote-unquote evil organization. And then when it came down to Venti, he essentially allowed the Sarita, allowed La Senora to take his Gnosis, and he did not go hunt her down to get his back. So that clearly shows that he does not care for his Gnosis at all, or even Celestia, for that matter.
Fatui in the ass, though. Because, like, apparently every person on the Fatui is a good guy except for Dotori. Apparently everyone on the Fatui is a good guy except for, like, two...
That's not true. They're morally questionable people.
People, but the organization is so evil.
The organization itself is not evil. That's not true. There's a difference between antagonist and villain. Antagonists are literally just in opposition to the main character. That's it. Villains are morally wrong. Or morally evil. Or immorally evil? I can't... Hold up. I may have to pull up the definition real quick. Villain definition. Go to all. A wicked or cruel person or deliberately criminal. In stories and plays and films, villain is typically the evil character or antagonist who opposes the protagonist, though the term is used in everyday language to describe the root cause of a specific problem. Even though with this definition that's being provided here, there's still a distinction between a villain character can also be the protagonist of a story as well, just to let y'all know that. So a villain can be both an antagonist and a protagonist, but there's still a difference between a antagonist in case when there isn't actually a villain in the story, that character is no longer a villain, or that character that's in opposition to the main character isn't really a villain. It's a antagonistic character, right? As simple as that. The Abyss in Genshin Impact is blatantly the villain of the entire story because it seeks to destroy all life across the cosmos, both in Teyvat and outside of it, clearly. The Fatui want to free the world from Celestia because Celestia are a bunch of fraudulent gods in claiming to be gods in the island in the sky. There's that. That's why they're doing what they're doing. So they are antagonists, they're antagonists. They're not villains. Especially not the majority of the Fatui are not villains. Do they do morally questionable things? Absolutely. There's no doubt in that. But that doesn't make the character a villain just because they do something morally questionable. Shit, my volume is off.
Seems perfectly willing to tolerate an even greater evil being inflicted on everyone else's.
Yeah, now they have like a weekly night like girls club. I think it was like Arlecchino, Columbina, and Sandroni are seen like having a pillow fight and running around.
God forbid a antagonist group shows their members being close to each other. God forbid. Man, I hope Withering Waves does not do that in the future with their Fraxidus members to show that there are members of the Fraxidus who fuck with each other and who are friends of each other. I hope they don't ever do that. Despite the fact, the Hydra and the Siren was spoke about in the same vein, and it sounds like those two characters will be tied to each other and have some type of relationship with each other. Just from pure speculation, obviously, but these two could just be partners in crime and how they get things done for the Fraxidus.
Round in nightgowns.
And that is what makes him interesting. Again, all three characters share the same core idea. They're protectors, but they have enough differences in their philosophies, in their methods, in their moral contradictions that you can appreciate each of them individually for this.
It can. Again, you see the ignorance of Nigerian perspective where he doesn't bother giving examples of female characters who are the same and are different from each other. He doesn't bother to do that because one, he's too lazy to do it, and two, because it would disprove his entire point.
Stories they tell. See,
Aether and his 89 girlfriends versus actually somewhat well-written male units.
When all is said and done,
seems valid to me.
Candybug made a video expressing hope.
Seems valid to me, but doesn't play the game to actually know what the character writing for half these female characters are, to claim that it's just Aether's girlfriends. Again, this seems like a lot of self-rejecting from a Wuwa bot when it comes down to Genshin Impact's critique.
Opinions about a video game. Opinions that, in my view, are at absolute worst nuanced. Now, the audience is the audience. People on the internet are going to send hateful messages as long as you don't fully agree with them. They're going to throw insults around. They're going to make threats over something as trivial as a video game. But what...
And they'll call you racist, too. They also accuse you of crimes, right?
Genuinely disappointed me was seeing other content creators jump in and contribute to the dog pile. I mean, to me, that is a...
Dog pile, he says. He claims that, essentially, when he says that, he's implying that we bullied Let that be clear. He's implying that we bullied Candy Bug by criticizing her points and her takes and disproving, or rather proving, why her points made no sense and were absolutely stupid in context to the actual information in the actual game, because she brought forth a lot of headcanon and a lot of, oh, well, I want certain content, I want content to be catered towards me because I like X thing and I don't like seeing it on the other side of the aisle. AKA, God forbid, a gacha game that's aimed mainly at men, which is why they release so many female characters. God forbid they cater to what men like more than what women like, because, you know, demographics are clearly different between male and female players of this game. Women do not overly represent the player base in mass compared to men. If that was the case, this game would literally be fucking Love in Deep Space.
A different kind of low. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to agree with someone. You can completely dismantle their arguments if you think they're wrong, but you should still be capable of presenting your opinion without turning another creator into the community's punching bag.
Again, he's accusing us of turning her into a punching bag for the community when everything that everyone did who reacted to that video was simply what? React to it and give their good faith criticism of the video and called it a day. No one told anybody to go brigade that content creator or go call her XYZ nasty names. No one sat there and said that, but that's how Nigerian Perspective is framing it.
And guys, this is the thing. There's a reason why I choose just not to react to smaller creators unless they're obviously, like, unless they're insulting me. Once you start attacking me personally in your...
Oh, really? If that's the case, I haven't seen you react to any of my content conveniently enough. Maybe because you know you can't handle an hour-long reaction to my video. Probably why. He's sitting here saying this, but he doesn't do that shit across the board. He's lying. Because if that's the case, I would have found a reaction video to my own content months ago when I first called his ass out for how he was coming at Brand Online, because his Brand Online called out his butt buddy for spreading misinformation. That nigga not about it. He lying.
In your videos, then obviously, right, the gloves are off, but usually people are so small it's not even worth it, right? But if it's going to be like a high view video that's in the middle of like getting, I don't know, like that's just wanting to be seen, I'm not personally making it my mission to fucking destroy somebody on the first look. Absolutely not. That's even...
You mean giving good faith criticism to bad takes? That's what you meant to say, right? Because that's what that was.
Why? When Analytical Vibes and I initially got into some drama, it started because I mentioned that his video was a little bit off. For like, all I said was, yeah, unfortunately, his arguments in this video, they're not really the best because he didn't read the changelogs.
And guess what everyone else did as well? We did the same shit. What are you talking about? See, now he's insinuating that people who reacted to Candy Bug's video, I don't know why he white knighting for her so hard here. I don't know. He probably want to, clap cheese, but obviously that's not going to fucking happen. Anywho, but nonetheless, he's insinuating that what we did to Candy Bug is not the same as what he did when it came down to Analytical Vibes. Because, I was cordial about it. Brother, everyone else who reacted to her video was also cordial and gave her video a chance and watched it from top to bottom in good faith and tackled all her points and explained why they were bad. Again, the supreme bad faith of Saint Tontas describing the situation is fucking hilarious.
Bro made a 20-minute hit piece about me in response because I talked about it for 30 seconds in a prior video. When people do that, oh boy, yes, you are in store for what you're asking for. But I don't go out here actively looking to try to end careers like Brand Online.
Lying ass nigga. Did he really just say that? Oh, that's crazy that you say that. It's so crazy you say that. Brother, we don't even need to look that deep.
Working through literal trauma.
I don't see
I
don't see content like this anywhere else.
She's a foodie, but balances it out by training a lot.
Let's go.
Let's report the channel as well. I realize that. Yeah, you could just maybe you could just report the channel as well. Let's just how about this? It'll be easier. It'll actually be easier to report the channel. And the reason for that is simple, right? It's easier to report the channel, right? Because if he deletes the videos, then YouTube will know that it's for the channel and not him. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's report the whole channel and reference these videos when we can. He's already gotten them reported. We will be following up on this, and we will be, now that he's taken them down, we'll be asking for reports every day. Yeah. It's too late, brother. It's too late. I'm gonna ask people to report your channel every day. I just need to replay this part of the VOD every day. And so the evidence is there. We know you're here, but it's like I don't see it, I don't see content like this anywhere else.
What did he just said over here about Brand Online is the one out here trying to ruin people's careers?
It's because I talked about it for 30 seconds in a prior video. When people do that, oh boy, yes, you are in store for what you're asking for. But I don't go out here actively looking to try to end careers like Brand Online.
And again,
actively lying in 4K1000 is crazy.
I'm not talking about every single creator. I'm sure there are some out there that did just that. But when you become part of the reason someone says they never want to touch Genshin Impact again,
because she said that. She says the community is so toxic and so bad that she never wants to touch the game again. And you want to know what Brand Online said in response to that? And this is just truly how you know there's something wrong with
The
this
game. After all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore. This fandom is so incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't.
He's like, whoa, Genshin got called toxic even though we know she got death threats? Let me go defend the Genshin community. I need to find some way to defend the Genshin community even though we know we're sending death threats to her.
Let me go ahead and show you the actual clip of what the fuck actually happened. Don't worry, I got y'all, because, you know, I do the bare minimum bullshit around here, which is why I got fucking lengthy hour-long to 3-hour-long fucking reactions. Let me show you what actually he said related to this, shall we? Because it's not hard. Hopefully you didn't remove that video. I hope he's 10 toes enough not to remove content off his channel. Let's actually show what he actually said, shall we?
Wouldn't want people that they deem inferior, like complete actual existing problems with the game, you know, like the games, which is crazy, actually crazy, I guess. And it's a very easy way to get your channel monetized, because to get monetized, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. There's a few Clearly not. This is a video game. It ain't that fucking deep.
Anything nice, or if you've been constructive with your criticism, and I'm sorry, my first.
The most constructive criticism. Yeah, closing the DMs is a very smart. Wait.
Hold up.
I'm sorry. That just kind of blows my mind a little bit. Guided, if I could ask us. So you both equally chopped anyways. Fed your art to AI since I felt like annoying you. Kiss. Fuck. I know. Instant. If that's what it looks like to be.
Me in the last few days, you haven't been able to. I just wanted to take a moment to clarify some of the stuff in the video that drew the most negative attention and that I wish I did better on looking back. That video was rushed because, like I said, I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya, but it took me so long to write and edit it that it probably wasn't even worth it in the end. But either way, I shouldn't have rushed through it, so I'm sorry for that again. I don't know if it will help to make this, but I guess the least I can do is try and amend some things. Thank you again if you've said anything nice or if you've been constructive with your criticism, and I'm sorry my first...
The most constructive criticism I can actually give, and this is me being... this is also getting taken out of context, but yet again, I will explain at least my thought process behind it. So serious right now is, this is a video game. It ain't that fucking deep. Your headcanons are not fact. Those three things, I think, would solve all of this. So people also seem to think that this is my constructive criticism on her getting death threats. Again, for some weird reason, probably the out of context clips, but I genuinely don't know. They took this and said that this is my response to her getting death threats. This is my constructive criticism on the original reaction video, like the original video that she posted. Nothing to do with the death threat situation. This was the constructive criticisms that I would have had for that video. Given this is me being so serious right now. Again, I thought it was obvious, but clearly not. This is a video.
People are stupid on the internet. That's why they're, what's the word I'm looking for? Retarded. Unfortunately, Brand Online too soft of an individual to literally say that, but I'm not soft enough of an individual to acknowledge that people are retarded on the internet. Unfortunately, we have a generation of retards that are unfortunately from the same generation as I am. Goodness gracious. This generation is cooked. Shit. Volume turned off again.
Deep. Your headcanons are not fact. Those three, I obviously was not saying the death threats ain't that deep. I was saying the first video was not as deep as a lot of the parts. Things I think would solve all of this, especially the last part.
I'm sorry if your nice comment got buried by all of the negativity. Maybe I'll see you soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went. Bye.
It really does feel just a little bit like victim-esque. I'm surprised. The light to this, like, again, terrible choice of words there. I think it was more so the tone of voice at the end, but I'm not the fucking tone police out here. Bad choice of words. Victim-esque in the sense of, like, it was, again, that wasn't anything to do with the death threats either. It was more so at the end of the...
Soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went. Bye.
It was mainly based on, like, the ending there. Again, just to be very clear, I'm not trying to cut out parts that make me look bad. This does make me look bad. I wasn't meaning I'm like victim blaming her for everything, obviously. I just meant the response felt kind of like a woe is me besides the death threats. I'm happy to take those aside and say, yeah, that's fucked up. But that one fucked up thing doesn't necessarily make me just believe all of her other points, like the Linnea stuff, right? But yeah, it's like someone said here, this sorry at the end of the video feels very shallow considering the majority of the video, which is, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But yeah, bad choice of words on my part. I'll play it again.
I'm sorry if your nice comment got buried by all of the negativity. Maybe I'll see you soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went.
Oh, actually, let's go back to that we'll go back to that video clip. Where was this at?
Sure. Like, that's the monologue going through this guy's head. He's trying to find some way. He's like, whoa, Genshin got called toxic, even though we know she... Truly, how you know there's something wrong with this
game. After all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore. This fandom is so...
Oh, I know what this point is. This is around the time of the death threat mention. Hold up. Was it around here?
A real person. Whether you like them or not, the best thing...
Candy Bug on Twitter or TikTok.
Still a real... You're not open to discussing... So that's it.
Except for Instagram or YouTube.
Other CC...
Even really been reading comments recently because it's so overwhelming. I promise you, I do not have time to go deleting comments that disagree with me.
Fair.
If your comment disappeared, it could be for one of the reasons that I'm going to put on screen now.
Yep.
So thank you in advance for giving me grace with this video. I have other ideas for...
I tried, honestly. I feel like this video kind of went like the last video though, where it started off decent with a good intro.
More like...
For this part, it was more so just a wrong choice of ending. To an extent, but this video kind of went like the last Ascension, and here's why Genshin video. It's not right to double down. That's kind of my luck on it.
More lighthearted, non-Genshin videos, as I will probably take a break from the game. After all that's happened, lighthearted, non-Genshin videos.
So this is the videos that she plans to make after this. Littlest Pet Shop, an overview and analysis of the Littlest Pet Shop Generation 7 reboot. Big Time Rush, an analysis of the BTR TV show, which I love. Hey, change the R to an S and I'm there, baby. BTS! BTS!
Videos, as I will probably take a break from the game. After all that's
this is the clip I wanted to show. This is the clip right here.
And I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore.
Yeah.
This fandom is so incredibly...
I think a break would fix that, though, genuinely. It did for me.
Toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think...
This part is also being clipped, and I will clarify this, to be honest, because this sounds really fucked up. It does. I come across as really, I don't know the correct word for this. A lot of people say victim blaming, but I don't even think it's that. I think it's just nasty. I think it just come across as quite nasty.
That they wouldn't jump down my throat at every...
Okay. Listen, I'm really trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. You cannot act like you are a 100% victim here. Yes, there's going to be some... I specifically say 100% because she is a victim here. She's a victim of the horrible people. Like, the people that are sending her death threats and stuff. Yes, she is 100% a victim of that. But some of the other stuff, like the overall negative reception to a lot of the things that she said, those are just her genuine thoughts that she's doubled down on, right? So like the Linnea stuff as a big example. It's the biggest example of the video.
And the racism stuff.
To be honest. So it's like, yes, for some of the things, like the very important things, to be honest, the real life consequence things, she is a victim of, 100%. But with what she's saying here about the Genshin community, for some reason I didn't really associate this with the death threats at the time, I think. I think this was more so just about, like, the negative reception to the video.
To think that they wouldn't jump down my throat at every...
Okay.
Like the jump down my throat at every turn kind of thing?
I'm really trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. You cannot act like you are a 100% victim here. Yes, there's going to be some bad eggs that say some horrific shit, but you are part of that toxic fandom with the way that you are talking and what you expect from everybody here. I do think that's the case. And again, this is speaking from experience. I was also part of that toxic fandom, right? A year ago now, over a year ago. Some people might even say now for different reasons, but you're always going to be freaking compared to that, to be honest. It's like, I used to do this exact same thing to a different level for different reasons. Like I said multiple times, clearly I'm a lore player. This girl plays more for the fan servicey elements, surprisingly. Or maybe not fan servicey elements, but I think in the first video it was like shipping stuff, and she said herself she's not really a lore player, right? I'm pretty sure.
But then proceeds to criticize the lore of the game, which doesn't make no sense.
So it's like, when I see stuff like this, I do think you contribute to the toxicity in the fandom. Not to the level of these other motherfuckers that are sending death threats. Obviously. Same as me, bro, right? I contributed to the toxicity of the fandom, but not to the level of people sending me death threats. At the time, I thought that was obvious. Now, I realize I needed to clarify that a little bit more. Say it kinder, to be honest, because like I said before, this is a real person on the other side of the screen. I should have been kinder with my words there. I'm sorry, that is just the way it is. Just like I used to be a part of the toxic side of the fandom, openly admitting, as I have many times, I've grown and developed as a person from there. Hopefully, this person does the same thing, because this is not the time to be playing victim after 2 videos where you just double down. Terrible choice of words, because again, she is a victim, but yeah. That was just bad choice of words on my part. Genuinely, it was.
You should have been more so like, you're trying to paint this as, oh, you gave your opinions about something and then people just gave you death threats about it, when it was just like, no, what happened was people saw your opinions, they criticized it, rightfully so. Don't bring the people bringing death threats as a way to like diminish the valid critique of your video that people gave. That is something I would have said.
For all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore.
Yeah, I feel like taking a break from the game is the best thing to do. That's what I did.
This fandom is so incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't jump down my throat at every...
She painted the entire fandom as toxic rather than the minority of crazies that decided to hop on and start sending her death threats. AKA painting the entire Genshin community as crazy.
Turn. I'm also confused because some of you seem to think this is like a psyop, like I'm putting this video out for a reason or getting paid to do it, instead of it being a video that's not very good because...
Okay, that seems like a stretch, to be honest. Well, it is a stretch. There's also I hate even saying this, dude. There's also good reason for it. Good reason for people to think that, and it's because was it in China or Korea or something? Somewhere in Asia. I think it was China on Bilibili, to be honest. This exact thing recently happened, I think. Or a rumor of it went around and people believed it at face value. Something like this actually happened, where there were industry plants paid by opposing gaming companies to slander other games, which is crazy. Actually crazy. So I think that's why people are now thinking this, since 2 channels in the past 2 weeks have done the same thing. But again, even this one, it's not even slandering the game that much. It's just honing in on very specific points, I guess. It's a bit different. I don't think it's a psyop.
It's my first...
I still don't think it's a psyop, by the way. I don't.
First one where I wanted to talk about my feet.
I think this is a Genshin hater that decided that they've seen other people make similar videos to this that have popped off in numbers. Let me change my words here, because again, this is why I like to review videos and stuff before I post them on YouTube, so I can actually do this. When you're live, it's a very different atmosphere. I think a lot of people are probably aware of that. Maybe I should watch these videos off stream more often instead of on stream, so I'm kind of not influenced by the live audience. But going back to what I say here, because it's important.
It's my first one where I wanted to talk about my feet.
I think this is a Genshin hater that decided that they've seen other people make similar videos to this that have popped off in numbers, even first videos like the one we watched from a couple of weeks ago, which was kind of the same as this, to be honest, not much different. This one went into more detail. I don't. My choice of words was incorrect yet again here. I don't think she was a Genshin hater. I think she was a disgruntled Genshin player. I think she is a fan of the game. I just think for the past 2 years, she's probably been quietly going through what I went through as well. And it just kind of hit rock bottom with this video, you know? Like, her love for the game, I guess.
All right, I think I played enough of that clip. You get the point.
Incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't.
He's like, whoa, Genshin got called toxic even though we know she got death threats? Let me go defend the Genshin community. I need to find some way to defend the Genshin community even though we know we're sending death threats to her. Like, that's
conveniently, he's going to show this instead of Brandon Lyon's video of him literally going back on even some of the things he even says in this clip. Because he's like, you know what? Yeah, some of the things I did say in this clip was a little crazy. So allow me to correct some of the things I said and give better wording, because a lot of this is really bad wording or bad phrasing or just me being a little nasty. I'm not gonna lie, right? AKA the self-awareness to recognize that, okay, this is the reason why I didn't post this video. Instead posted my reaction to my initial reaction to her follow-up video.
That's the monologue going through this guy's head. He's trying to find some way to defend Genshin and defend his channel, defend his community, knowing that she got sent death.
It's crazy how Brandon Lyon has the ability to have self-awareness and reflect on things he said and done versus Saint Tontas, who doesn't possess such an ability.
Threats.
Jump down my throat, whatever.
Okay, listen, I'm really trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. You cannot act like you are a 100% victim here. Yes, there's going to be some bad eggs that say some horrific shit, but you are part of that toxic fandom with the way that you were talking and what you expect from everybody.
Bro, Brad is the type of guy where, imagine you did this. You tried petting a cat that you saw on the sidewalk, and then it lacerated your arm, and you ended up getting, like, MRSA, and your arm had to be amputated. Terrible, right? Brad would go to your hospital bed and then say, I know it sucks that you lost your arm, but, like, you shouldn't have pet that cat. You were kind of asking for it, so, like, you shouldn't have tried to pet that cat. You kind of deserve.
Which is why Brandon Lyon was like, my wording here was not the best. And he acknowledges that. Which is why he's made his follow-up video showing his reaction to that video and clarifying and, you know, acknowledging that, yeah, okay, yeah, I was a little crazy when I said XYZ thing. But, of course, Saint Tontas, he's going to keep hammering onto it because he doesn't care, because he wants drama with Brandon Lyon, because he has personal beef with Brandon Lyon over past shit.
I didn't deserve losing your arm over this. That's how this comes off as, bro, she's getting sent death threats for critiquing the game, and you're like, oh, well, you kind of deserve it. No, you don't, retard. Nobody deserves that for critiquing Genshin Impact.
Here.
And think about this. Do you think Brad is adding more fuel to the fire? Let's read his comments. Do you think
you're adding more fuel to the fire by keep mentioning this shit and keep lying about on this nigga's name. That's what you're doing.
These users are probably going to go harass her? She did that to herself. Okay. More fuel to the fire? Let's read his comments. Do you think these users are probably going to go harass her? She did that to herself. Okay, bye. Just like clockwork, the fandom is toxic, but I'm not. 07. She should have stopped 2 minutes ago. Acting like a victim here. Oh, bro. Oh, my God. Own up. The whole Genshin fandom unite to hate this YouTube, by the way. OMG, the pity farming is crazy to me. How is this guy not just rallying his community to go attack her?
Bro, he's not rallying his community to go attack her because he didn't tell them to go do that. Nor did he subtly imply it, nor did he explicitly apply it. Unlike you, who we have full 4K 1000 video footage of telling people to go report Skull CJ channel. Let's play this again.
Let's report the channel as well. I realize that. Yeah, you could just maybe you could just report the channel as well. Let's just, yeah, how about this? It'll be easier. It'll actually be easier to report the channel. And the reason for that is simple, right? It's easier to report the channel, right? Because if he deletes the videos, then YouTube will know that it's for the channel and not him. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's report the whole channel and reference these videos when we can. He's already gotten them reported. We will be following up on this, and we will be, now that he's taken them down, we'll be asking for reports every day. Yeah. It's too late, brother. It's too late. I'm gonna ask people to report your channel every day. I just need to replay this part.
You heard with that? He slipped up. He was about to say mass report, aka brigading his channel, which is against TOS.
Part of the VOD every day. And so the evidence is there. We know you're here, but it's like I don't see it, I don't see content like this anywhere else.
Anyway, point made.
with a reaction like this. Read the comments. Bro, they are ready to go again. Bro, they're ready to go again. He's just driving them right back to her channel to farm even more hate.
More lies pushed with no proof.
He loves this.
I'm sorry, that is just the way it is. Just like I used to be a part of the toxic side of the fandom.
Just because you see people giving their opinions about her video and what the things she said in the chat, that does not equate to him sending his chat or sending his community to go harass her. That's not the equation, nor does that equate to being so. In comparison to you saying to us, we have 4K video footage of you doing the very thing that you're claiming Brand Online has done.
Openly admitting, as I have many times.
Hey, keep reading the comments, bro. I'm a victim. Now he's victim blaming, bro. He's just saying she's making a big deal out of things when she got sent death threats by his community.
Listen from there. Hopefully, this person does the same thing.
Yeah, she is also toxic.
Because this is not the time to be playing victim after.
You reap what you sow. You deserve it. I'm so done. His chat is so disgusting, bro. You should just read the chat from his live streams.
Says the nigga whose community is known for impersonating other people, aka Captain Cabinets, and impersonating her on Twitter to then go forth and ask artists to create CP art for her under her name, and you got the audacity to talk about some, oh, Brand Online's chat is disgusting, when the majority of them people that's probably even watching that video aren't even people from Brand Online's own community, and are just people who've seen this video in passing and see another content creator reacting to it and like, oh, let me see their takes on it.
Just read the chats during his live streams, and you will see this guy has the most disgusting community in the space.
Someone becomes so disgusted.
The most disgusting community in space. Again, you literally sent your community to go harass and mass report Skull CJ's channel unjustly, and then your community also was impersonating Captain Cabinets as well. Actually, let me show that Captain Cabinets clip. Let me show that.
Chatters. May S. Moon is actively supporting Skull CJ.
With just two lies! As easily as he breathes. I shit you not. Every sentence he says is another fucking lie.
How am I taking the trading?
Farm. I can't type. Farmed me. It's almost as if this would sound to his chat. I would sound fucking question. He was like, okay, I'm done. And then he dipped. Actively in my chat, making yourself look like a fucking moron, dipshit. Why do
I want to see where's the one where homeboy or she was caught this nigga or his community being extremely vile and disgusting with what they were doing. It was was it this video? It had to been this video, right? Let me click on it. I don't know why this bitch ain't loading. I want to see the part where she mentioned the CSAM thing. It's playing with the video not. Oh, this is the stream. Hold on, I don't want the stream. I want the video. I gotta hurry and find the fucking video. Screw it. Gotta go look on her channel. I gotta scroll back in time to find the video I'm looking for. Come on, baby. Come on. Scroll, baby. Scroll. Three months ago. Still in 3 months. Still in 3 month time. 4 months. Deranged creep. I think this was it. Yep, I think it was the range creep.
This is, without a doubt, the most ridiculous crash out, I think, in gacha history. But instead, it's like, oh, CJ's giving him what he deserves. CJ's just showing him the mirror. Me.
Maybe the community that's promoting the idea that you should stalk everything that I'm fucking doing to harass me.
Shut up.
This has created one of the most toxic communities I've ever seen. Okay. After the CSAM attack happened, when my server also got raided, people started impersonating me. People started impersonating me on VGen, going to artists saying that I had CSAM on my server, that I like to masturbate to CP, and then giving artists requests to draw CP, essentially traumatizing other people on VGen. People impersonating me, pretending to be me, traumatizing other people on VGen with insane, horrific requests. Where do you think that comes from? What community do you think that comes from? I don't know. Maybe the community that's promoting the idea that you should stalk everything that I'm fucking doing to harass me. I wonder where it's coming from. Just a speculation. Just a speculation. Oh, I don't know. People that are making Twitter accounts about me to impersonate me and to mock me. Yeah, to impersonate me and mock me in my model. Maybe they're the same thing. Maybe the people that are impersonating me on fucking VGen are the same people that are making these Twitter accounts. Oh, I wonder who follows it. St. Tontus's fucking mods and his glue sniffers. His VIPs and his mods are the ones following these accounts that are impersonating me. His community is responsible for this. They are following the accounts that are doing this, that are impersonating me. They're supporting it. And St. Tontus even promotes it on his own channel, on his own videos. His own moderators and his VIPs follow these accounts. They are doing nothing but sitting in Discords, on VCs, showing my own Discord being streamed in real time to 30 people in his own Discord server. How much more can I make this clear that this is a blatant case of fucking harassment, stalking, and obsession at this point? They are streaming my own server in his server to get any information of what I am saying. To paint me as a horrible fucking individual. These people need to be fucking locked up. They need restraining orders. And St. Tontus just uses everything. He just uses everything. This is an evil... He allows this to happen because he does it himself. Because he does it himself, stalking me when he gets fucking raided, looking at all my videos, hyper-analyzing everything I do to take it out of fucking context. Do you believe me now when I say that's what he does? He doesn't care about truth. He just cares about optics. Anything you say, he will doctor. He will literally manipulate your messages, cut things out, lie at this point. This is obsessive fucking behavior. Me to remind you that I got doxxed. My information, my name and address was posted on the fucking internet. And someone in my server said, "You got doxxed? The fuck? Are you okay?" And I said, I wasn't. As in like, I wasn't okay. Still not, but I'm okay. I misspoke. I meant to say, but I'm fine. I apologize that I misspoke in my Discord message. I haven't left my house yet though, because I'm afraid to leave my fucking house. But St. Tontus took this message and claimed, yeah, no, she's just lying about it. She's just lying about being doxxed. This is evidence. Look, she said she wasn't to getting doxxed. Yeah, she's just like clearly lying about it. And he's now parading and telling his community that I'm fucking lying about this happening because of a single misspeak. Again, he will use anything that I say. And
for context for my new people who watch my content, Captain Cabinets went out with St. Tontas for about a month or two. And he treated her like absolute shit in the relationship, just to let y'all know that. So when this whole drama sparked off between these two, this nigga was out here blatantly harassing Captain Cabinets any chance he got, acting like an obsessive ex, stalking her shit from top to bottom. Let that be clear.
A misspeak, whatever. Not even a misspeak. He'll just make shit up, take shit out of context to paint me in a fucking narrative, and is now convinced his entire community that I'm lying about this happening, downplaying it. Do you know what his response is? He knows for a fact, by the way, that I did get doxxed, so he's lying about it. Do you know what his response is to me actually having my information put out there? Oh, look at that. Look, his own community. Oh, seeing as though we're talking about his toxic community. Look, they're coming into my chat right now. Telling me to shut my mouth, my stupid bitch. Yeah. There was someone else who came in the other day to tell me that I shouldn't live anymore. So you know what? They're telling me to die, telling me to shut my mouth, impersonating me, traumatizing artists, impersonating me, mocking all his VIPs and mods supporting it. Yeah. What's St. Tontus' his response to me getting doxxed and him thinking I'm lying about it? Let's go check out what the man of reasonability says. You know, the most reasonable gacha creator there ever is. Let's have a look. This is his reaction, by the way. Is that the reaction of a sane fucking man? Is that the reaction of a sane fucking man? I don't think so, bro.
Okay, I think you got the point.
Disgusted with the community that they don't even want to engage with the game anymore, all because they make one video that, if you ask me, range from being right to incredibly nuanced. I think that says far more about the state of the community than it does about the creator herself, but that is just my opinion. What do you think? Where do you stand?
Awesome video about my Nigerian perspective. Yeah, I'm glad that this thing is I'm glad that this thing is popping off, glad that this thing is getting a bunch of views, because right now bro is at
Just because it's getting a bunch of views does not mean that people agree with what he has to say.
Absolutely spitting when it comes to this topic. So many good points in that video being hand waved away by some of the most irresponsible creators in the space, drumming her entire video down to just fucking Genshin hate when it's clear from the arguments you saw portrayed over here.
How about you actually watch the video of a content creator who actually broke down her arguments from top to bottom, who knows what they're talking about in relation to the game and everything that's in the game, before you decide to watch a content creator who actually misrepresents the game and shit in the game to then be like, oh, the game is bad, aka Nigerian perspective. But he won't do that because he's not doing this shit in good faith.
It's a multi-layered issue. Yes, Hoyo not doing these things can be called racist, but then it can also be called racist as well for doing them. And that should have just simply been the line of conversation.
Again, he doesn't play her original clip and her original video to understand why people called her racist, because Nigerian perspective purposely does not bring up the clip about Nefer. Or rather, no, he brings up the clip about Nefer, but he mentions Mawika first as the point about racism, when that was never the point about racism being labeled onto Candybug. It was the Nefer point. And even his take on the Nefer point was also terrible as well.
Right? For brand and creators like that to go with, instead of, oh, racism is the reason why. What a fuckhead sort of response.
What a dumbass level take that is, considering the context of everything. Crazy.
That's right. And as you can see over here, when you actually take the time to approach this critique in a well-mannered,
oh wow, well-mannered way, as if everybody else who reacted to our video before Brand Online didn't do the same shit. Fuck out of here. Anyway, y'all saw the retarded shit of this. I think that's everything I need to say. It's already 4:41 in the morning. I've been doing a 3-hour-long reaction to this fucking video. Anyway, it's time to call it. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this in the comment section below. Make sure you like, sub, turn on the notification bell, join my YouTube community Discord, link is on my channel. Check out my yapping topics and yapping reaction playlist as well. I stream Genshin Impact along with 4 other gacha games, and I stream a handful of non-gacha games like Gravity Rush 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Stellar Blade, Face of Ribbon, and Tales of Berseria. So if you want to stick around and see those games, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I'll see you on the next yapping topic, yapping reaction, and live stream here on YouTube and YouTube only. This is KallaTheYapper signing out, and peace. This is fucking stupid as shit.